This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. That's right. The Greybot 9000. Yep, there's Chloe there. Chloe, what's going on, Chloe? See, I'm actually behind her. Yeah, over here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah. Hey, look at that, Stacy. How's everything going out there? Looked like things were going better. We had some, I guess the earlier news in the day on the video that I did was on Brian Laundrie. They determined that he killed himself by shooting himself in the head, which is exactly what we said, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. Or a month ago, month and a half, whatever the hell it was, right? Whenever he went missing, I think it was like September, maybe around the 15th or 16th when they found his car at the reserve and boom. Hey, Kit, what's going on? Thank you, Fishing in the Dark. Yeah, so we absolutely... If you go back and you watch all of the coverage that we did on the Brian Laundrie case, it's by far the most accurate presentation of what happened. Yeah, from the start to the finish. But you're not recognized unless you put out a bunch of sensationalistic garbage with it. Yeah, that's how it works. You have to be the one that, ooh, 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 look, there's an arm coming out of the flower bed. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah. Hey. You're squishing Chloe.
Hello.
Did you see that? The taco was stamping on Chloe's head. She's like, would you shut up? I'm trying to get a little bit of a nap here. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just think how disgusting the people are that went in the front yard and started screaming. Okay? And yelling through a bullhorn at this point. Just think back, and then realize, wow, so Brian Laundrie was dead that entire time, because it was around the 11th that he actually disappeared, right? Like he was gone, and then they found his car. The parents did, and then eventually they said, well, we don't know where he is, because boom. So the entire time everybody was standing out there. Brian Laundrie's dead in water at the Carlton Reserve area over there. Isn't that crazy? And they're out there, hey, tell us where he is. Just losers. Man, embarrassing. It's not the new way to do things, everybody. It's a disgusting way to do things.
Ocean wave, 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 ocean wave.
Thank you. Yes, that's right. Cindy Leon is calling for an ocean wave to help support the channel, and as we are coming close to the end of the month, We've got 7 days left. That sounds like one I've already done. Let me look. That's not what I was trying to do. This one.
Yay.
Wow, this is...
Welcome home, Stacy.
Wow.
Glad you're back. Heart.
I'm gonna have to shut this down and open it back up again. My Google Earth. It's like frozen. Thank you, Amy CHS. Yeah, it's good to see Stacy in here again. She's like probably one of the nicest people on the planet Earth. Unless you make her angry, of course. Then yeah, but she really is. Thank you, Mama 4.
Ocean wave.
Still gotta get rid of that horse.
Ocean wave.
Thank you, Brandy C. and Jessica Schubach. Okay, so I think Dan sent me, it's all over the place, but he sent me the video of the arrest of the barbarian, right? Darrell Brooks. So he sent me, he told me about it, and then I looked it up, and then I have a copy of it. Thank you, Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. Yes, the Linda Molden Howe. Oh wait, that's Howe, H-O-W-E. Never mind.
If only people could learn from it. Protesters.
Yeah, they're just gonna keep doing it. It's stupid. Just think how ludicrous it is that they were screaming outside that house, and at the moment he's dead the whole time.
Ocean wave. Ocean wave.
Okay, so here we go. We're gonna play. This is actually Darrell or Darrell, whatever the hell you want to call him, Brooks, when he got arrested. So he went to a house. I blocked out the guy's name right there. I don't know if he cares. I mean, he obviously had it on the video. I have it. I mean, I'll say the individual's name, but he actually went up to somebody's house and was talking about making a phone call for an Uber or some shit. I mean, it's crazy. So here we go. I mean, you know what's weird about this guy? How calm he is after he just mowed down an actually a 6th person just died just before the show here about an hour ago, and it was one of the children. So now this barbarian's killed 6 people. Thank you, River Vegan. Thank you.
Hey, can I... My ID! My ID!
My ID? What the hell is that? Let me go back over here. Wish we had the whole thing.
Hey, can I... My ID! My ID!
I think this one's different than the other one I saw, but he talks about getting an Uber, then the guy comes out. But I think what happened was the guy might have called the police on him inside.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Whoa! What? I just...
26, 500 block of Elizabeth, 126.
What an idiot. Thank you, River Vegan, Sandra Halford, and So Kind.
Hey, do you know this guy? Absolutely not. Okay.
In thank you for being a member. And thank you, Cheyenne R. Thank you. Yeah, so anyways, there's not much. I mean, there's longer versions, but he's trying to use the phone to call an Uber. And the homeowner actually comes out in one of the videos that I saw. And then he must have called. Somehow they were able to determine who they were looking for because they found the vehicle already. They knew the name. And then, I don't really know how it all played out where the police knew to go to that house. But what's interesting is, so, you guys remember where he backed in the vehicle right here. This is where he backed the vehicle in, right? And then if you look the guy's name up on, his name is actually Daniel Ryder. He's the one that, it's on the video itself, so it's not like it's not out there. Then this is where he lives. So if you go, you pan up in the air, the car was parked there, and that video, he was arrested that quickly. So, we don't know exactly how he went there. It doesn't really matter what route he walked there. We know that from here, he got to here. Whether he came down here, went through this parking lot, or went here and down, really is irrelevant. But he did go to this house right here, and if you go down to Street View, and that's the building you can see in the background. It's back there, right there, that building. And then it's right there. This is Street View from 2019. So it's right here on this porch. That's the rock that you see right here. And there it is. So that's exactly the home he knocked on, and ended up being arrested right there. So that's, it's interesting how close he was. He didn't know where the hell he was. There's something, he doesn't look similar to the way he used to look. All right, so now we're going to, thanks, River Vegan. We're going to play the court hearing from today. And we're just going to watch the whole damn thing, and we'll get to hear some of the charges, and that takes up half the video. I mean, that previous charges. I mean, this guy should never have been sniffing outside of prison. He should have been locked up a long, long time ago, and for a long time, and never been out. This guy is a menace to society, a horrible human being, And
how dare you say that about another person, Gray? Everybody's a person, gee!
No, Mary Lou, this guy is a freaking monster, okay? Absolute whack job. All right, here we go. Mary Lou's so naive, you gotta admit. No, it's not true. This guy's a monster. What she said was complete bullshit. Okay.
This is case number 21 CF 1848, State of Wisconsin versus Darrell Brooks. Matters tabbed
Thanks,
to
River
Judge
Vegan.
Lau. Appearance by the state police.
What, you win the lottery today?
Good afternoon, Commissioner Sue Opper and Leslie Basie, appearing for the state of Wisconsin.
Thank you. And for Mr. Brooks.
Darrell Brooks appears in person in custody with attorneys Anna Keyes and Jeremy Perry.
Can you guys hear that
Good
pretty
afternoon
well?
to you. And we are here on a criminal complaint that's now been filed. Mr. Perry, will Mr. Brooks acknowledge that he has received a copy of that complaint, and will he waive its reading?
Hey, let's start doing, you guys go out and put Yarg, right? My name backwards. We can sound like cavemen and go to all the other channels and go, Yarg, Yarg, Yarg! You know? It's really weird how people always go, they come from another channel and they type in the little call sign of the other channels. So what we'll do is we're going to go over there and say, Yarg! All right? Awesome.
The court here today.
We have received copies of the criminal complaint. We'd waive formal reading.
Thank you. You may at some point be relevant, but the address on the complaint is accurate.
That's right.
Thank you. And Mr. Brooks, I have reviewed a copy of this criminal complaint. I will find it does state probable cause as to each of the 5 charges before you. You're charged in count 1 with first-degree intentional homicide. That's a Class A felony, and that has a maximum possible penalty of it being sentenced to imprisonment for life. That's for victim A. Count 2, first-degree intentional homicide regarding victim B, is a Class A felony. Again, the maximum possible sentence is a sentence to imprisonment for life. Count 3, first-degree intentional homicide regarding victim C, is again a Class A felony, and that's punishable by a sentence to imprisonment for life. Yep. Count 4, first-degree intentional homicide regarding victim D, again is a Class A felony, and that's punishable by a sentence to imprisonment for life. Lastly, count 5, first-degree intentional homicide regarding victim E, is a Class A felony. That is punishable by a sentence to imprisonment for life.
I was going to add a 6th murder on there.
As those are felonies, you're entitled to have counsel. You're entitled to have also a preliminary hearing. And I, again, have found probable cause to each of the 5 counts upon my review of the pleading. So we will turn to Attorney Opper for her bail recommendation.
Thank you, sir. As to bail recommendation, Your Honor, I'd like the court to be aware of a prior criminal history as it relates to Mr. Brooks. I can advise the court he has arrest record from 3 states to include Wisconsin, Nevada, and Georgia. Starting with the state of Wisconsin, the record begins in 2000. There was a conviction in that year for substantial battery, party to a...
Like, you guys, everybody calls me Gary, Greg, Craig, whatever. Like, even, you know, the people that came over, the Yeeters or whatever, they came over here, and then I went over to his channel, and I started talking. I sent him a super chat, and he said, "Thanks, Gary." You know, the same guy that you guys all came over to, he called me Gary. Okay, so I respond to Gary, Greg, Craig. My diploma from college said Gary on it. I did a U-turn at the end of the stage and then handed it back, and they corrected it. And then a few years later, one of their people, they sent me a letter asking for donations, and they called me Greg or Gary again. It's like, well, wait a minute. When I fixed it, did you switch it back in your system? Because you sent me a letter that said Gary. Hey, Gary, send us some money. How about this? Hey, idiots, when you spelled my name correctly, I know you were trying to help me out. You actually graduated me thinking that I was spelling my name wrong all those years, and you corrected it for me on the diploma itself, and you still graduated me, a guy that can't even spell his own name. I mean, that's absolutely unbelievable. Thank you very much. But as soon as you guys fixed the damn, I mean, it took them years, and after like 10 years, finally it was right, and I just went, you know what, screw you. Okay, thank you.
Crime. A prison sentence was imposed but stayed for 3 years probation and 6 months condition time.
Thanks for vegan again.
2002 conviction for possession of marijuana as a repeat offender, sentenced to 50 days in the House of Correction.
Yeah, so I figured, why not, we'll have my thing be YARG. And people go, what's YARG? Well, it's Gray Hughes Investigates. Well, that doesn't stand for Gray Hughes Investigate. Wow. Just trust us, okay.
Correction. 2003 misdemeanor conviction for resisting obstructing, sentenced to 20 days in the House of Correction. 2005, there's an arrest from Langlade County. Ultimately, he was convicted of a county ordinance violation for disorderly conduct. What's remarkable about that is that he failed to pay the fine, so he was ordered to serve 30 days in jail on the non-payment. 2009 Manitowoc County conviction for obstructing an officer, sentenced to 2 days jail, time served. 2010 conviction from Wood County, Wisconsin. He was convicted of the offense of strangulation / suffocation.
Thank you, River Vegan.
With other charges of battery and criminal damage to property dismissed and read in.
Like us, thank you.
The court ordered a withheld sentence for 3 years probation. That probation was revoked. And on August 1 of 2011, he was sentenced to 11 months jail. 2012, he was convicted at the same time on 2 separate files in Milwaukee County. First file was a charge for possession of marijuana as a repeat offender, sentenced to 180 days in the House of Correction. The second file, he was convicted of misdemeanor bail jumping and misdemeanor possession of THC, also sentenced to 180 days in the House of Correction, concurrent to the other case and concurrent to each other. In May of
Thanks, Lucky
2012,
Charms.
there was a conviction for
$69.
resisting obstructing.
Amanda
He was sentenced to
Oglesby.
37 days jail consecutive to the earlier sentence imposed in April of that year.
I mean, don't you just think this is incredible? How is this guy walking around with all these charges?
He's currently pending on 2 charges in Milwaukee County. 2020 CF 2550, he's charged with 2 counts, second-degree recklessly endangering safety while armed, and 1 count of felon in possession of a firearm. The date of that offense, or excuse me, all 3 offenses, is July 24th, 2020. It's believed he was arrested shortly after that incident and remained in custody in the Milwaukee County Jail until released on bail there for reasons of a speedy trial violation on March 3 of 2021.
Right.
Bail at that time was lowered from
Yeah, this is the one where he had $7,500, and then because the city or county, whatever, couldn't do a speedy trial, they lowered his bail so that he could get out, and they blame it all on COVID. Yeah, so you allow barbarians out because of COVID, because it might hurt people, and then the people that you let out go out and kill other people in a just a heinous way. Wow, that makes a lot of sense.
$7,500 cash bail to $500 cash bail. In that case, Your Honor, it is alleged that he got into a fight with his nephew.
Don't you think it's crazy? All of the regulations they have for people with COVID. I mean, shit, you can't even, like, you get on an airplane and you even touch your mask, you're thrown off that plane, but you're going to let a absolute violent criminal out on the streets because of the same damn COVID. I mean, doesn't it seem like you should lock them up even more at that point? If you're really that strict on the shit? I mean, it's just unbelievable. Ah, God, it's crazy.
The defendant fired 1 round from a handgun toward the vehicle that his nephew was in. The vehicle was occupied by another person, and that account.
Well, when you say, see, here's the thing, Steve, when you say liberals, I like to say the politicians in that realm, not the actual, there's a lot of people that are liberals in society, and they don't agree with some of the stuff too. Okay, but it's the politicians in these cities that allow things like these to happen because of, being, quote, woke or something like that. That's one of the issues that, rational-minded people have. You see what I'm saying?
For the 2
It's the
charges of
politicians.
reckless endangering safety.
There's a lot of rational, tons of people that watch my show are liberals, Democrats, whatever, but they're rational-minded people. You see what I'm saying? Like, they look at stuff like that and go, wow. Like, they're not, I guarantee it, there isn't one Democrat or liberal that watches this channel that's for defunding the police, especially if they're a true crime person. They're not out there going, yay, let's defund the police, yay. Okay, they don't believe that shit at all. Okay, it's the media and all those idiots pushing that stuff. All right.
The next day, he was taken into custody, and the residence where he was located, he was found to have a loaded 9mm handgun just a few feet away from him. The handgun was previously reported stolen. Again, he was a convicted felon on that date, so that accounts for the 3rd charge.
Yeah,
He's
the
also
media.
currently pending in Milwaukee County case number 21 CF 4596. That has a date of offense of November 2, 2021.
Hey, it's Taco Tuesday, everybody.
He's charged there with resisting obstructing, felony bail jumping, second-degree reckless endangering safety in a domestic violent situation.
And this is still just other things
domestic DC
he's been
and
charged with.
domestic battery. The allegations in that case, Your Honor, are that he struck the mother of his child in the face with a closed fist. Then as she was walking away from him, he intentionally ran her over with his vehicle.
Wow, ran him over with a vehicle. Huh.
The vehicle in that matter described as what's believed to be the same maroon 2010 Ford Escape.
Yeah, so he was
used
into
in
running
the
people over with that
allegations in
car.
this case. Police went to his home and found him getting out of that Ford Escape. The defendant ignored their commands to stop, and he tried to run into the house before he was apprehended.
Oh, by the way, everybody, right now, hit the like button, okay? Here we go. Hit the like button right now. 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, hit that like button, hit that like button, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, hit that like button, 20, 20, 25, 30, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button. Also, here's the thing, if you don't want to hit the like button, hit the dislike button, but do something, for God's sakes, okay?
There's a long history of flight, obstructing, bail jumping type behavior, Your Honor. It's remarkable that these are violations all around the state of Wisconsin, not just his home county of Milwaukee, but we had convictions from Wood County, Manitowoc, and Langlade in northern Wisconsin. I'd like the court to be aware of a record from the state of Nevada. We'll go to Nevada first. That happened, the first conviction was from December 11th of 2006. He was found guilty at trial of a misdemeanor count for obstructing an officer, was sentenced to jail in Nevada. Also on that same day of December 11, 2006, he pled guilty to a domestic battery as a misdemeanor, and the court there ordered a suspended sentence. On March 16th of 2007, he pled guilty to statutory sexual seduction, a felony.
Jeez.
The court ordered a suspended sentence for 36 months probation. He was also ordered to register on the Nevada Sex Offender Registry.
Wow.
He is currently noted to be non-compliant with that registration requirement.
You think?
On June 23rd of 2016, he was charged with a sex offender registry violation, first offense. He failed to appear in court, and a warrant remains active for his arrest.
I saw that.
He currently has
it's just like
an outstanding warrant for his arrest in the state of Nevada.
Yeah, his charges, like I say, are like on the original Star Trek series when they're reading off the accomplishments of Captain Kirk. You know, it was taking so long, they just said, okay, you know, during a trial that he was in, they said, well, let's just stipulate to his accomplishments. That's what it sounds like.
In
here.
Georgia, Your Honor, the record reflects a May 27, 2021 arrest for misdemeanor battery with a designation of family violence. While it is not clear if he was convicted, he did recently remark to a court official in this county that he had served a 6-month jail sentence in Georgia. So we have not been able to verify if that was a conviction, but certainly there was a confinement in conjunction with that arrest. He has no contact with the criminal justice system in Waukesha County or the district attorney's office. He does have
I turned the bots on.
Outstanding paternity case that's been pending since 2003, in which he was adjudicated as the father of a juvenile. And there's been returned court appearances over the years based on failure to pay child support. The court should know that a warrant or capias was issued for Mr. Brooks in this paternity case.
Yeah, let's not do like weird, comments about, the racial makeup. I understand what you're saying and everything like that, but it's just, Yes, we know what's going on out there in society and the court systems and everything, okay? Everybody knows.
Case on at least 8 occasions. He has been sentenced to jail on several prior occasions for failing to pay that child support. And on one occasion, he had his Huber privileges revoked related to one of those jail sentences. That was back in 2009.
Uber privileges?
Most recently, there was a warrant issued for his arrest in that non-support civil case on August 2 of 2021. Judge Maxwell signed an order for him to serve a 120-day jail sentence. Mr. Brooks did make a court appearance in that matter on November 16th of 2021, so just last week, 1 week ago. And he was released at that time because, again, he had explained to the court, provided an explanation that the reason he had not made his child support payments is because he was serving that jail sentence in Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
So the court released him that day and ordered him.
Should that be an excuse at all? I mean, that shouldn't be an excuse at all. The law should be, if you miss a court hearing because you were arrested and put in jail somewhere else, it counts as you missing it. Because what the hell are you doing over there? I mean, it's unreal. What does this even mean right here? Let me hear that again.
Made his child support payments is because he was serving that jail sentence.
Yeah, he'd make his child support payments because he was serving a jail sentence. Is that an excuse to anybody?
In Georgia. So the court released him that day and
you're free to
ordered
go
him back
then.
for...
Hey, I tell you what, let's start, if you're somebody out there that owes $600 a month, maybe $800 a month in child support, and you can't make payments, just go rob banks. Rob banks and just keep doing it over and over and over again, and then they say, well, why haven't you made your payments? Well, I was in jail. Yeah. Wow, you could save a lot of money doing that. So it pays to be a criminal, everybody. It's awesome.
A court appearance in the paternity case for December. So, Judge, just based on his prior record, we obviously have very significant concerns about Mr. Brooks' flight history and willingness to obey the orders of the court. But we have to factor in, obviously, the allegations in this case as well. And obviously, I don't need to...
That's the last place you want to move, Marty McFly, because in Canada, you can chop somebody's head off and get out in 5, okay? Because we saw that in a case where there was maybe a 19, 20-year-old kid on a bus listening to a Walkman. This, Hmong, H-M-O-N-G guy was on the bus and just sort of took out a knife and started stabbing the guy to death. And then everybody ran off the bus, and then he ended up cutting the guy's head off, walking to the front of the bus and holding it up to everybody outside. And then he got arrested, and then he got put into some psych ward, and now he's out on the streets again 5 years later. Isn't that phenomenal? Because Canada, yay! It's embarrassing over there. Absolutely embarrassing.
State Mr. Brooks is facing 5 consecutive life sentences if he's convicted on all counts in this complaint. I wish to notify the court, sadly, that today we learned of another death of a child related to this case. We do expect a 6th count for first-degree intentional homicide to be issued or added, to this case. I can advise the court that I am aware, I've been made aware.
I mean, don't you?
Gray, don't you know that if you give them drugs, they'll be better? Yeah.
Oh, you mean if you just give somebody drugs after they chop somebody's head off, they're going to be normal again?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Yeah, so I guess if you're in Canada, go ahead and chop somebody's head off and then say to yourself, hey, act like, just act really stupid, like something's wrong with you. And then they'll put you in a facility and you're out in 5, right? So I guess in Canada you could be a hitman, chop somebody's head off, but you just pretend that you're crazy. And then after 5 years, you're out and running around doing whatever you were doing before. Here's what I would say, everybody. The judge in Canada who let that guy out should have had him live at his house for a year to see if he was okay. Then he can get out. Okay? And you want to see how much longer that guy would have been put in prison as soon as that law was invoked? Well, Judge, this guy that chopped off somebody's head is going to have to live at your house for, let's just say a month, okay? And then after the month, then he's free to go. And then he'll look around and go, wait, did I say he's out now? We did 10 years, maybe 20. We'll look at it again. He'll change everything, okay? Because it's so ridiculous. They know that guy is going to be nowhere near him. But he puts that monster back in society with other people. But it's always crazy how the elites always, hey, windmills are great. Yeah, windmills are awesome. As long as they're not near my house. It sucks, okay?
Through investigators that there are other individuals in critical condition. I think we remarked on the number of actual injured parties in our complaint. It exceeds 60 people.
Yarg!
There's a number of other charges that we are reviewing and considering, but certainly, at the very least, we do intend to file a 6-count of intentional homicide, maybe Friday or maybe early next week, depending on...
Right, you just chop people's heads off on buses, right, Mark? Yeah, good stuff.
When we can accomplish that. Certainly, if we have any other deaths resulting from this incident, additional counts of homicide will be filed. We didn't charge bail jumping.
You don't have to block Mark Brown. He's just one of those. He's upset that somebody mentioned anything in Canada.
Focused,
Canada is very. Remember that a terrorist. They gave him a huge settlement. Just like last year, it was ludicrous. I mean, come on, you guys.
Our efforts to date on the immediate concern, and that involves the loss of life that is alleged to have occurred through the conduct.
And I like Canadians, okay? I'm just talking about that's what the difference is. It's the government and the policies that are ludicrous. And here's another thing, too, is, Canada's military is really small, and they don't have to spend a lot of money on their military. You know why they don't have to spend any money on their military? I mean, just throw out the guess. It's because we are here to protect them if somebody invaded them. And we have a great military. Okay, so they don't have to do that. They know that we're going to be right there to defend them. So they can save money. Yeah, they have I'm sure the soldiers that they have are awesome, the special forces and everything like that. But they don't have to spend the hundreds of billions of dollars on it because we are right there. And that's just the truth of it. You can sit there and come up with stuff like, well, that's not true, Gray. We just budget better and, give me a break.
Mr. Brooks, I want this court to know, and I think the court has read the complaint. You've indicated you've read the complaint. There are not words to describe the risk that this defendant
is he gonna
presents
cry
to
over
our
there?
Community. Not only flight
God,
risk,
don't try to
the
get that cry
dangerousness
going.
that he presents, his history of violence, and
the hell up.
the allegations in this complaint where
Loser.
it is stated plainly that on
embarrassment.
several occasions
He doesn't give a shit.
he was told to stop by police officers. They risked their own safety to try and step in front of the car to stop him.
No, Gray.
Everything was done to get him to stop, and he just simply continued down the roadway, causing death and destruction in his path. So I am advocating for significant cash bail, Your Honor.
You don't have to block that
I'm asking for
comment.
$5 million cash bail.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Half the world relies on us, yet we're piles of crap. That's exactly right. Yeah. That's exactly what. No, there's hardly any thanks. Nothing. It's just, look at the U.S. We're so much better than they.
Bail. I know that's a large amount of money, but I think it is warranted on this history, and I think it's warranted when the court considers, if convicted, Mr. Brooks will spend the rest of his life in prison. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Patricia, what's the real reason then for
Thank
the
you,
low
Commissioner.
cost of military?
When this court determines what amount of monetary bail is reasonable and necessary to assure Mr. Brooks' appearance in court, I guess at today's hearing, the only thing I would add for the court's consideration is that Mr. Brooks is financially indigent, does qualify for public defender representation, and that individual circumstance must be taken into account.
You just realized that he's, God. No, he's just
That concludes your
pretending.
argument?
He wants to
It
look
does.
like he
Thank you, sir.
gave it down. Do you see how he was at
So,
the house?
first of all, let's
wanted
get
a
to
sandwich.
conditions of bail.
Yeah, the longer version of him on that Ring doorbell, he wanted a sandwich from the guy.
The monetary portion is called bail. There are conditions, though, in bail. And first, I am going to order, sir,
Oh, you
level
didn't hear what
4
I said.
monitoring through WCS if you do post bail. You're not to leave the confines of the state of Wisconsin. You are only to be released on a business day during business hours. This is the highest ranking sheriff, deputy sheriff. I would like your opinion.
Hey,
I would
Freya.
like the sheriff's department to notify WCS if he bails out, that he's to immediately go over to WCS. So would it be asking
won't be
too much
bailing
if I
out.
had somebody from the sheriff's department contact during regular business hours WCS to let them know
We are
that he's
setting
being
bail at $1 trillion. So you'll have to come up with 10% of that. Check in with the clerk.
released? Then I'm ordering then that the sheriff's department contact immediately upon Mr. Brooks walking out the door.
We accept-
If that should happen, that
We accept post-dated checks.
he's on his way to WCS, which is literally a block away. If that does not happen, I want to make sure that people are aware that he did not get on the GPS monitoring device, which I am ordering. I'm ordering him to pay for that as well. Again, he's only to be released on a business day during business hours, with the sheriff's department agreeing to contact WCS. If WCS does not have Mr. Brooks come in with a matter of minutes, I'm ordering them to then contact the sheriff's department.
I think politically, anybody that's building up a fund to bail out this person, there's nobody that would do it. This is like one of those moments where even if they're like, ooh, God, if it was just some other scenario, not this one. Running over old people and a kid.
I am ordering, sir, that you
Forget it.
not operate a motor vehicle. You may not possess any dangerous weapons or firearms. You are not to have contact with the families listed in the...
In fact, sir, if I could impose the death penalty as we speak, I would do it. But
victim identification sheet. You are to only disseminate that information to your lawyers.
yeah, that's unfortunate.
Those are all the conditions of bail.
I think
Violate any condition of bail, including
Wisconsin
failure
might be
to
a
record
state where
separate
you
bail,
have
jumping
to
charges
have
could be
bail.
issued against you. In reviewing
know.
969.01 of the Wisconsin statutes and 969.001 that talk about bail and release, the statute reads that there should be reasonable conditions designated to assure his or her appearance in court, Mr. Brooks, protect members of the community from serious bodily harm. And those are the conditions that I just laid out. The bail may be imposed at or after the initial appearance. There should be a reasonable basis to believe that bail is necessary to assure appearance in court.
Oops.
Some of the things to
This is
be
the one I wanted
considered
to go
by the
for.
court with the conditions of bail are the number and gravity of the
Wow, I lost 25 subs. It must have been my stance on Canadian legal system.
offenses, the potential penalty the defendant faces, whether or not the allegations are violent in nature, the prior record of the defendant, character and strength of the evidence which has been presented to the court, where the defendant is already on bail.
Well, I don't know. Hey, I don't live in Wisconsin, Mark Brown, you idiot. Okay, I don't know every state has different laws. You think I'm supposed to memorize them all? Well, yes. When I studied in the school, listen. See, Mark Brown is one of those clowns that shows up on social media, acting all high and mighty, like he's just better than everybody, and he's just not. Okay.
Or subject to other release conditions.
Yeah, I don't care if I live there or not. They have their sentencing of criminals over there is laughable. Okay, it really is.
Other pending cases, and whether or not there's any violations of those release conditions.
No, well, that isn't me.
In reviewing the criminal complaint, the allegations are such that I read that 2 detectives opined.
Yeah, I haven't blocked anybody that doesn't agree, Mark Brown, you idiot. So go do something else. Troll elsewhere. I might block you just because I don't like you and I think you're a moron. That's why I might block you.
That this was an intentional act, that the vehicle seemed to swerve into individuals, actually at one point trying to avoid other vehicles. That the detectives, they're listed as Detective Casey and Detective Chusoni, who again opined that
Agent Orange.
the actions they observed, in their opinion, were intentional. We now have 5. Attorney Opper informed us of a 6th, but that's not here before us today. 5 people that are deceased.
Hey, John, I'm going to be exactly
We
how
have
I
a
feel
gentleman
like
that
being.
has a huge background via multiple states. Just going through some of the Wisconsin cases, they're violent. We have substantial
Hey,
battery,
Sherilyn.
DC, strangulation, suffocation, resisting. Pending cases, which the statute I just read
Welcome,
references
Agent Orange.
that I should consider. Second degree reckless endangering safety while armed, felon in possession of a firearm. Attorney Opper told me that the gun apparently was a stolen handgun.
Another war that you
Those are
couldn't- What does that
allegations.
even
He's
mean,
out on
Mark?
bail on that.
What does that even mean, Mark Brown? And another war that you couldn't win. Go ahead, explain yourself. We're all just, hey, listen, everybody, let's just stop the show and let's just all listen to Mark Brown. He's so interesting. He has so many interesting thoughts, and I can't justify continuing to play this hearing because he is absolutely the most interesting person in the world. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let's go. No, go ahead. Oh, man, I can't wait. You know when I always make fun of the people who take off, and when they come back they go, "I'm back, everybody," and I say, "Who cares if you're back? There wasn't anybody waiting." But when he says, "I've got something to say," man, it's like E.F. Hutton. I just go like this. Whoa! What does he got to say? I can't wait. That's amazing. Wow. Whoa. Right. I mean, just everything stops. It's like the day the earth stood still when Mark has something to say. Oh, God. Anyways, have a good one, buddy. Bye-bye. Now we can get back to the show. All right?
Also out on bail on the Milwaukee case ending 4596, where he's charged with second-degree reckless endangering safety.
And by the way, to answer one of his comments, no, I don't think the Canadians are worse than the Americans on anything. Their crime rate's a lot lower. I'm talking because they don't. I think guns aren't even. I don't think they allow people to have just guns other than if you're hunting or something like that. So the thing is it's the sentencing you give people. That's what I think is ludicrous. Okay, so I'm not saying anything at all about that. See, that's why your brain doesn't work well. I know you can't respond now because you're now blocked from the channel, but your brain wasn't working correctly. That's not what I said at all, what you said. Okay? All right.
Disorderly conduct and battery and resisting. And then we get into Nevada. Battery, domestic violence, the sexual assault, the sex offender registration violation, and then the battery in Georgia. Other considerations are
Right. You don't allow people to carry
on
guns,
WCS, their report
right? You
indicates
can have a rifle for hunting and stuff like that.
level 4 monitoring, which is the highest level of monitoring that we have. And in that report, it does indicate there have been failures to appear other than 2 years old, and then sentenced to incarceration prior, yes.
And the
Current
Prime Minister.
violent felony, yes, or offense, yes. Pending charges at the time of this offense, yes. Prior misdemeanor convictions, yes. Prior felony convictions, yes. Prior violent conduct or conviction, yes. Prior violent convictions, 3 or more.
Now, Canada's
So there have been
population is
missed
about
court
a
dates,
tenth of what we have.
although none
38 million.
in the past 2 years, but then we just heard about a rather significant duration of a 6-month stay in Georgia, in custody there. In the recitation by Attorney Opper, we have things that causes the court some pause for concern, resisting. Again, these are things that would cause me to feel that this gentleman does not follow rules very well. Orders of the court, orders of society, resisting an officer.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any, he's not going to be able to get out. Well, here's the thing is, do you think there's any bondsman that would accept that? He doesn't just have to come up with 500,000, because there has to be somebody else that approves it. And this guy, man, he'd be a flight risk. I mean, there's no way in the hell he'd get that. I don't think he has no chance of getting bail and getting out.
There's a bail jump in 2012.
Oh,
There's
wow.
a bail jump
bail
charged
jumped.
in the 4596
There you go.
case. There is in the 2550 case, again, the felon in possession of a firearm.
Who's Greyhound
All
Bus?
those
What
things
does that mean?
are just societal, legal issues, also orders of the court in some instances that are not being followed. While out on bail on 2 rather
No, this is the hearing
significant
from today.
allegations, we are now faced with 5 counts of first.
Yeah, this happened today. Well, it's 6 counts now, because there was another death. One of the children died. Hold on a second.
First-degree intentional homicide. So when I look at that, I look at the
What do you mean,
the gravity of the offenses.
What does that mean,
The ma-
Sherilyn? Greyhound bus? We don't agree. What does that mean? I don't get that comment. I need to have explanation on that.
maximum possible penalties as the statute allows for likelihood of incarceration, which if you're found guilty of 1 or more of these, even 1,
Oh, there are a
will
lot
put
of
you in
people
prison for the rest
hospitalized.
of your life.
There's even some more in critical condition.
I believe you are a flight risk. There's
Yeah.
failure to follow court orders. This allegation, although the motive is not known, and I'm not entitled to know what that is, but it looks like there was either panic or whatever, or an intentional act for whatever reason. You don't do well under pressure. The Milwaukee County case talks about, as Attorney Opper indicated, you using a vehicle to run over another person with your vehicle. So you don't respond well to what is common sense within our community, our society. So based on that,
You don't respond well to common sense. Boy, you see that a lot on social media. It's weird.
you're out on bail. Those smallish bails that you were out on didn't do very well. Before I forget, there is Marcy's Law. I understand that although there are, the statute in the Constitution now defines deceased victims to allow for family members to speak. So Attorney Opper, I was told that nobody wishes to speak. We have a number of people from the families. And is that still your understanding?
I'll just confirm that, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm getting confirmation. Nobody wishes to speak to the court at this time, but thank you for your
I have one on your
inquiry.
right. So, ma'am,
I'm sorry.
I would ask that the victim witness individual from the DA's office see who this is without divulging who it is and what relation to what victim she is.
But let me ask you this. Don't you guys agree that when there's a judge or a psychologist who allows a violent criminal out of a hospital or they deem them mentally safe, that there should be a transition period where they live at the house of either the judge or the psychologist for a little bit of, like maybe a month? What do you guys think? Doesn't that make sense? Because they were so confident.
Thank you.
And I think if you put that law in, you'd see a lot more time added on to people. Because they weren't really quite that sure when they did it. Because if they're absolutely sure, they had no problem living at their house. You know, hey, the fridge is yours. Mi casa, su casa. You know. But all of a sudden, they're not quite sure now. Once they have to live at your
While
house.
that is being discussed, I neglected to order DNA be taken. A sample of your DNA, sir, has not been taken. I am ordering that now. It may be expunged if you meet the
Thanks.
criteria.
Vid
of
inquiries.
expenses. Thank you. Attorney Basie, where are we?
We're fine to proceed. She does not wish to give a statement.
Okay. Thank you for checking. Thank you, ma'am. The family is always welcome. You do, under the law of the state of Wisconsin, as well as under the amended Constitution, have the right to speak at proceedings germane to the particular proceedings that we're at. So with that, I will set bail. I have no problem with the bail being recommended by the state. I'm an old guy who has been doing this for almost 40 years. DA's office, criminal defense attorney, 17, 18 years as a commissioner, both in Milwaukee and now in Waukesha. The nature of this offense is shocking. Actually, the detail I was not expecting here today, that two detectives, not lay people, detectives, not only tried to stop this, but rendered an opinion that this was an intentional act. You're presumed innocent, sir, but that's what the allegations are.
Well, of course it's
I've
intentional.
not seen anything
What do you mean?
like this in my
Did you watch the news?
very long
Yeah,
career.
he chose to run over the people.
It seems to be a very strong case for the state. Likelihood of incarceration, which is the other aspect of bail, is absolute. If you are found guilty of any one of these, a multitude of them, it's a life imprisonment sentence that must be meted out. So I have no problem. I just, with that bail, it's extraordinarily high, but it's an extraordinarily big case. It's an extraordinarily serious case with an extraordinary history of this gentleman.
Gentlemen, wrong word.
Of fleeing, of hurting people, of not following court orders, not following criminal laws.
Thank you, Holly Evans.
Not following just your societal norms. So I know that that's extraordinarily high bail. It's warranted here, and I am setting cash bail in the amount of $5 million. And with that, we're going to select a preliminary hearing date. Attorney Perry, time limits.
That's going to be interesting.
Commissioner, we
The
would be
preliminary
waiving
hearing.
time limits. We did, off the record, talk with the clerk prior to this and preliminarily set a date for January 14th.
No,
at
it wasn't
9:15.
orchestrated. It wasn't orchestrated. Yeah, this isn't a false flag operation.
It is.
It's not like, you know, I get so tired of that. Yeah.
Does that work for the state?
So, Judge, it works for my calendar and Attorney Basie's calendar. We would ask for an opportunity.
Sometimes there's just barbarians out there that do evil things. That's what we've got here. Just like Adam Lanza, just like all the various school shootings and everything like that. It isn't a false flag operation. It's not a crisis. There's no crisis actors. Those are real people that were run over, and it's a real event. Okay, I'm not a conspiracy theory channel. I'm a conservative, politically, right? But I have a rational mind. Okay, that's the difference. All right.
You need to confer with any victims that wish to attend. Obviously, that cannot be done with haste here this afternoon. So if we could perhaps just notify the court by Monday if we have any significant challenges. I think if the court can anticipate the ability of live streaming the event, that may assist with some scheduling conflicts as well. But I'm available, Attorney Basie available, Detective Casey is available. So yes, that is our request for that date, Your Honor.
Okay, why don't we take that date, and then we can work out the details as far as live stream or otherwise. We'll talk to Madam Clerk, Monica Paz, and see what we could do. So with that, anything else, Attorney Opper?
No, sir. Thank you.
And Attorney Perry, anything further?
No, nothing else.
All right, very good. We can be adjourned.
All right, you guys, if you want to call in and talk about this for a little bit, because I'm going to be moving over to a cold case in a little while. Oh, poor, get the hell out of here. Look at this guy. I don't know about you, everybody, but now that I see his furrowed brow, I feel really bad for him. Don't you? Hell, no bail. If he just promises to sit down and read the Bible for a week or two, we can just put him back out in society. He is, wow. I've changed my mind. That's what they think. Look at this idiot. Give me a break. God. Right. So, anyways, if you'd like to call in for a while on this case, I don't know how many calls I would take, but that'd be great. And my comments about Canada aren't about the people, by the way. It's about the sentencing that they give people and their sort of, how they want to let people out after a certain amount of time, even the worst. Because here's the thing is you got to feel like you're making a difference when you put them into therapy. Because why do therapy if it doesn't work? So you got to show everybody, yes, it works. I know, the guy chopped somebody's head off. But look if we can put him back out into society after 5 years and he doesn't chop off anybody's head again, it'll prove that stuff works, everybody. Yes, awesome. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I have a whole, Canadians are cool people, eh? I know I didn't sound. That was a terrible accent. It's like when I attempt to do Australian, it's not that great. Thank you, Juju Positive. Hey, been a Megazoid, 23 months. There you go. You say hey, not a. Awesome. Yeah, because it's cold up there north. Yeah. Right. Some people can't be rehabilitated. But what's weird is they almost force, like even if you don't think they can be rehabilitated, they force you into believing they can be. Oh yes, let's let them out. It's just, how many cases have we seen where there's a pedophile, they let them out, and then within a year they've already killed somebody else or assaulted somebody else. It just happens all the time. And it's because that's what they are attracted to. These pedophiles are attracted to pre-puberty children. So the ones that can't control themselves are going to attack another child, and you know, and it's just every time you let them out, they do the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah, well, in a few years, Evil Kitty, they're going to be a protected class. Mark my words, I've already seen the TED Talks and so forth that are leading in that direction. You know, as long as you're not a practicing pedo, they want you to be able to teach your kids. And why shouldn't they be able to teach your kids? As long as they're not... You watch this. If you ever have a spare moment, look up the articles and the videos that are out there already trying to convince people that because they're born that way, which is a reality, that they should be protected as long as they're not practicing. Sick. All right. Yeah. What do you think, TTGO Tracy? Do you think you have light sentencing over there or not? Yeah, they're trying to normalize it. Exactly. It's incredible. It's a real thing that's actually going on. There's this whole TED Talk. It was like TEDx Talk or something. And this girl was talking about it, and she got this a round of applause at the end. It was unreal. No, they can't be, because that's who they are. They can't be rehabilitated. Who's going to be the first sucker to call in tonight, huh?
Well, Gray, if you call them suckers, you're not going to call Jay.
Yeah, that's a good point there, but there's always got to be that first one. Hey, Kit Kat, you should call in. We haven't heard from you in a long time. And you wouldn't be a sucker. You'd just be calling in again. Yeah. There it is. Yes. Yarg! See, I like it. It's like a caveman sound. And it's my name backwards, and everybody messes my name up anyway, so it just seems like a nice calling card for everybody now. When you show up to other channels, you can go, Yarg, 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 and everybody goes, what's that, right? Because everybody does it on my channel from another one. You get the the guy that Salty Cracker. You get those people showing up every once in a while. The salt must flow, and then you get the eaters, and so that's what I'm saying. It's a little bit like the movie Warriors, with all these different groups. Yeah, I said that, Emily. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yarg. Maybe I need this voice for it. What?
Yarg. Yarg.
Yeah, I like that one. Millions of pedos running around. Yep. All right, let me see. I do have some other stuff here. I think we talked about this for a little bit the other day. Do you guys remember this one? Wait, which one is this? I think this might be the one in Australia, yeah. There was that couple that had that burned out. Their campsite was completely burned. And then their vehicle next to it was a little bit burned. Well, they've made an arrest in that case. This guy right here. And I'm not sure what Jetstar is, though. What is Jetstar? Is that a... This is in Australia. Jetstar pilot. So he's an actual pilot. Apparently they believe that he got into words with them and then somehow... They'd never found their bodies, though, right? So this guy is Jetstar Captain Gregory Lynn, 55... is being questioned over the disappearance of the missing campers. They probably did a cell tower data dump, and it led to him, I would imagine. The elderly friends from Melbourne outer southeast are believed to have been murdered, but their bodies have never been found. Mr. Lynn was tracked, leaving his Caroline Springs home on Monday. Heavily armed police on helicopters later intercepted him. Jetstar has been advised by Victoria Police that one of his employees is under investigation for a serious crime and will work to assist in this due process any way we can. Russell and Carol were camping in Wanagata River near the Wanagata camp. Is it Wanagata? Wanagata. Does that sound pretty good? Come on, the Aussies in there. Was that good? Wanagata. Investigators ramped up an intense campaign in recent weeks, and officers drip-fed information to the public, including CCTV images of the vehicle. Suspected to be linked to the case, it's believed detectives had the suspect under heavy surveillance for some time. Look at this. See, this is where that elderly couple was staying, and their entire tent and area was just burned to the ground, and then that's their vehicle there. And you can see, look at the heat and smoke and flames that was coming off the side there. Come on, you know that I said that right. Come on, Lee D. I said it perfect. Wanagata. Wanagata. Come on, that was perfect. Police revealed earlier this month they believe an argument may have broken out between the couple and a third party. Detective Inspector Andrew Stamper said the best theory police have so far involved the vehicle earlier caught on CCTV and released to the public. Maybe someone in that blue four-wheel drive was parked and camped in the same area, and that could have prompted some contact with which may have been confrontational or aggressive contact. We know Russell was a very peaceful and law-abiding man, and he worked in the wilderness and some very tough jobs, so he wasn't someone who would necessarily take a backward step either. Mr. Hill and Miss Clay were last heard from in March 2020, when they traveled via Lacola, spending one night at Howitt High Plains before heading into Wanagata. How'd I say that one, Zozo? Listen. Wanagata Valley on March 20th. Mr. Hill, who did not tell his wife he was... Watch. She'll type in rubbish. Here it comes. Mr. Hill, who did not tell his wife he was with Miss Clay, was last heard from the next day via HF radio. That's what it is? Wangarata? Wangarata. Wangarata. Oh, there you go. Wangarata. Okay, cool. Just saying that sounds good, right? Oh, no. Wangarata? Is that correct? Wangarata. Have you been to Wangarata? Good eye, mate. Wangarata. Okay, I know I said it right that time. You know what she's probably doing is phonetically typing out a swear word that sounds eerily similar, and I'm just saying it out loud. Yeah, rolls right off the tongue. You got it. All right, campers found Mr. Hill's vehicle with signs of minor fire damage at their campsite, which was completely burned out. All right, here we go. All right, 440, you're on. Pretty good. Who's this?
This is Vid Inquiry, a.k.a. Vid Intuitions in the past.
She said that she said she called me Yarg, by the way. I think I had you on mute because I got to screen the calls a little bit, but there you go.
Oh, I understand how that goes. Lots of trolls out there. Yeah, Yarg. That's a funny name.
Yeah.
I like how you did that in the deep speaker. Yarg.
Yeah, it was better, that one.
Yarg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So unfortunately, that's so tragic for all these people in Wisconsin. And unfortunately, you know, we got a lot of other nutballs out there. I don't think anyone takes a cake like this piece of garbage, but
Yeah.
I mean, what do you or anyone else think? You know, I mean, we've got Macy's in a couple days. I mean, I bet they've got to be nervous.
Well, but I'm not thinking. I mean, it might have inspired somebody else, right? But I don't think he was part of some larger plot. Unless there's people out there that have put some things together. But a lot of those things are always conspiratorial stuff where they go, "Ooh, look, he said this, that guy said that, and now we're all connected." There was a BLM individual though that said that this might be the start of the revolution, and that's just such an irresponsible phrase to use in a situation
Eerie
like this.
and irresponsible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because what you're doing is you're hinting at, hey, maybe you're right. Maybe I should do something similar. Somebody believes in that movement, and now, whoever said that should be, inciting terrorism is what that is. When you're saying something like that, it's the start of the revolution.
Absolutely, there should be a charge for that for sure.
Yeah.
But just wanted to say, love your show. Hopefully, nothing else happens like that, and happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, and
thank you.
And your cute puppies.
Yeah.
Arg.
We'll make sure they get some meat, some gravy and meat.
Yeah.
I mean, you should see Blue though. Like, see what my wife does. She takes some chicken and little pieces of the actual dog food, and they mixes it together. And Chloe cleverly eats like almost just the chicken and leaves some of the dog food sitting there. And then we call, and then Blue though he knows to just sit back and wait because it's not his turn yet. Then you slide the plate that's the remaining dog food, and he runs over there and he just starts mowing down that, and then he licks the plate to a point where you actually could just bring it and put it right back up into the cupboard. You don't even have to.
Don't need a dishwasher.
Yeah, you don't even need a dishwasher. I mean, I guess you could rinse it off to make sure.
It's actually like that. One cat, and she'll go around and get everyone's leftovers. And all the time when you do that funny Rosemary's voice, her ears just perk up, and she sits there and watches the TV. It's hilarious.
Oh, you mean Mary Lou? Mary Lou's voice.
What do you
Mary
mean?
Lou's voice. That's
What do you mean, Rosemary? I'm Mary Lou. Gee.
See, you made her feel bad.
Sorry, lady.
Yeah.
Luna loves that voice.
You just dissed on Mary Lou.
Love your show.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, you have a good Thanksgiving yourself.
All right.
All right.
Thanks. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Man, she went bye for now and on the W hung up. I mean, there wasn't even another. Let's see. So that was what was Vid Intuitions a long time ago. Yeah, so campers later found Mr. Hill's vehicle with signs of minor fire damage at their campsite, which was completely burned out near the Dry River Creek in the Wayne. I'm not even going to try it again. Inspector Andrew Stamper last week said the strongest theory investigators had was that there was a third-party intervention. There was other people involved, he told 3AW Radio. That was in the likelihood a violent act, and there's been a concealment of Russell and Carol after the violent act. So meaning after the violent act, he removed their body and then burnt the campsite. All right, so that was the update on that. They had a call come in, now it's not there. Anybody else want to call in? I'm going to be moving over to a cold case where you can be damn sure that the viewer count will plummet because they're not interested in the cold cases. Let's see. And look at, we keep losing subs. Hey, everybody, listen. If you're a conspiracy whack job, please unsubscribe from my channel immediately. If you believe Sandy Hook is fake, please unsubscribe. Like if you think it's a false flag operation, the Sandy Hook event, just hit the unsubscribe button. Make sure you do not have the notification bell hit. I beg you. I don't want you anywhere near the channel. It just means you're really nuts, okay? Yeah, so we have these purge moments here. A lot of people, if you're just here for a political bend on everything, this isn't really the place either. We do real things in the true crime community, get things done. And if you're new here, see, like as soon as I started talking about something else, see that it was at 420, now it's at 395. Yeah, see how that works? If you're one of the people that leaves when it's not just exactly the topic, then this channel is kind of like a radio show, like Art Bell. Most people just keep listening to all the different topics. When he had the guests on and so forth, people just listen to whatever he's going to be talking about, and that's what we're doing here most of the time. Those are the actual freaks, the ones that no matter what the topic is, they're here. All right, and it's this one right here. Listen. From the green forests of the Pacific Northwest, I bid you all good evening, or good morning, as the case may be, everybody. Tonight, we have on a special guest, Linda Moldenhau of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles, and boy, does she have some stories for you. Unbelievable. And after that, we have on Richard C. Hoagland. He's going to tell us why we haven't been back to the moon in the last 50 years. All right, everybody. Now let's get back to the show. All right, there you go. And that's it. All right, did we have? I think we had a call come in, though, didn't we? Where is it? All right, 724, you're on.
Yarg, one day at band camp. What's up, babe? It's Pebs.
Oh, it's Pebs. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I was kind of disappointed that you had to pay $15 on that other channel to
I was disappointed too, but that's the only way you get them to read your damn questions. And I was serious. That was all these people trying to make a difference have no respect for people who make a difference. I'm sorry, it's how I feel.
Yeah.
And
what's kind of sad, isn't it?
I would do it again, sir.
I mean, don't you think it's sad that, like, this channel, because of the freaks, we're able to spend $8,000 for a community in Alabama that didn't have the resources to identify a John Doe.
That was so
and then
touching.
After 60 years, he got his name back, Daniel Armentrout, and we are the financial backers of it, and Identifinders International are the geniuses who pulled it off, and not one soul in the true crime community even gave a shit about it at all, except if you pay money.
I put forth my voice as much as I could.
Yeah.
As much as I can. I mean, I can't contribute like that. I mean, that was a big but for the position that, what's his name, Chris, whatever his name is,
yeah.
I know he's big in the crime community. I wanted to make sure he said something. He did mention you before I contributed. I was pissed he even mentioned you.
Well, why would he mention my name?
He mentioned you in a very good way.
No, because you sent in
difference.
5. No, you sent in 5. Then he said that. Then he sent in 10, and then he goes, "Oh wow," and then he said it again. So it was only because of your 2 donations. That's it.
Yeah, but before that, he had mentioned you is exactly why I sent it in, and I don't even know why I was watching it. It was like, I don't even know what time it was. It was just crazy, and I just got mad and upset because of that. Anyway,
hold on. Let me just say this. Yeah, Chasing she did a whole live stream on So Mean so she did that, and then there was some other, other channels like, I think.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I watched that.
But it's not, here's the thing. It never will show up in the Krama type channels, and that's what we're really inundated with right now, are people that aren't really serious about true crime at all, They just like sensationalism, so that doesn't mean anything to them. You know, so go ahead. What were you going to
So
talk
here's
about?
what I'm going to say is I can be an advocate for you and donate whenever I can to get these son of a bees. Listen, I'm going to be cussing in a minute because I'm so mad about that right now.
Yeah,
They
well-
want to help so bad, but they're sitting here with the drama all across.
Yeah,
Oh,
but here's the
crap,
thing.
you
I'd
do.
rather
I
have
mean,
you.
you
Well,
see
but here's
it.
the thing. I'd rather have you just send it here so that we can use it for the funding some of the
And
other
as
stuff
much
that we're
as
doing.
I can, I do, sir. As
For-
much as
you don't
I
need
can,
to,
I do.
You don't need to pay for advertising out there. That's lame. They should just know about it.
I don't think I'm advertising. I think I'm making a stand, and somebody has to, Gray. Someone has to,
Well, it was cool.
because it's important that the work that you do, even just seeing these old crimes from back in the day. Listen, I don't care what you think about me, because I adore you. I love what you do, and I love that you do the crimes from back in the day, because some of these crimes, like, they need solved.
Yeah.
Okay? As far as I'm concerned, you're making the standards. A lot of viewers that watch you, it's important. And if I can put my big mouth out there and go on a stupid other show and it gives attention, good. Maybe some 10 other viewers will watch it, and so on and so on. You feel me?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I just think
it's important. It is important.
I know it's sort of weird. I have this feeling about the true crime community, like a lot of people that watch it. If it's not exactly the case that they want to talk about, or there isn't, or it's not sensationalistically presented, they're just not really interested. You know.
Well, that's exactly my point. They damn well should be, because it could be your relative. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, Gray?
That's
There's
right.
so many people that are not even identified yet. It's horrifying.
No, there's
Could
lots.
you imagine,
lots of
2 years and then you find out somebody's cousin from your family? Could you imagine finding out, and you had, because you're watching the drama channel.
I'd like to get the brother on
do the
at
same
some point.
cases day
I want to get
after
the
day
brother.
after day after
I want to get
day.
the brother on at some point. Daniel Armentrout's brother. I think he might come on later. I just want to give him time to get through the whole thing. And then be pretty interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to find him.
Well, he's alive. I can get the number.
No,
of,
the one that's missing still.
Right, that's not the one I'm talking about. I'd like to get the brother on that's alive, just to hear what he remembers about growing up and Daniel, and then maybe he can give us some insight on where the other brother
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. That would be, like, that show, I would watch that every day, because listen, whenever I watch that whole interview you have with all them people on the frames, I'm watching from my TV because I can't see too well. But the interview you had with the people afterwards, and they mentioned you, how proud you looked, Gray. You would look so proud. And I was so proud of you. So I had to go on Dude's channel. I mean, I'm not proud, whatever. I mean, it's not, I want a pat on the back.
all of you guys, everybody
You need
should be proud.
notarization for that.
Everybody that's a freak, that is supporting in any way that they can, is responsible.
Yep.
I do the shows, and then you guys support my channel and the charities.
And I believe I
boom.
mentioned that too. I said Gray and the Freaks. I believe I mentioned that.
Yeah, I said that too, even at the press conference.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, you did. I'm talking about when I was talking to Dude.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, Gray and the Freaks.
Yeah, I saw that.
I kind of, I went off as nice as I could on my typing.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I typed you wrong or if I look like a moron, because I can't really see too well. Like I said 50 million times. Anyway, hi, Freaks. And listen, let's talk about the United States of America. Every week, there's one crime worse than the other. How many people do we have to hate in this country? God, let's go from Gabby Petito and the Laundries and people in Texas, that lady and her. Oh my God, the hate gets worse and worse for America for these criminals. Why do we have to keep hating? Why does mothers have to keep coming up and pleading to get their babies back. What's going on? What the hell is going on in this country? It's hard.
Yeah, that story
my
with
heart
the...
is so broken.
Yeah, the Robert... hell, I can't remember his last name, but the case just from the other day with the police officer, with his sergeant police officer friend, and they kill his 2 kids, and it's just...
Oh, I hope that lady sues the freaking living hell out of them.
Yeah.
That was just so wrong. All the way around, it was wrong.
It was.
Them 2 babies are dead because the police sat on their asses and go, nope, we ain't going to do this. What the hell?
Yep.
See, I already said in the chat I was going to rant. I mean, I'm just so beside myself with all this crime. And this guy with the parade, my mom and I went shopping today, and we were bawling. We were literally bawling together, and it just is nonstop.
Yeah.
I said in the chat early as well, if I had a superhero wish, I wish I could sniff out evil and have that evil ain't dead enough weapon. Yeah, that would be
evil.
Perfect.
Can never be dead enough.
There you go.
Right. There you go. I want that weapon, and I want that sniffer like a dog.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, sorry your dog shaking off the toxic algae didn't pan out for you, but...
oh, for God's sakes. Listen, on your Halloween show, I was going to come as an algae bloom, but I thought it was too soon.
You should have came as a dog.
I swear to God,
you should have came as a dog.
In.
You should have came as a dog with algae plume coming off of it.
I was just going to be an algae bloom. And you know what? I got to explain something about that. By the way, I'm glad you brought that up. When I was on there, I was so devastated of the results, what they said, exposure or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But right before I got onto your show, I was watching, what's his name? Oh, God. The other dude, that I like him too. Anyway, he had a show on, but I didn't realize it was from the day before. And he said, we still don't know what's going on yet with the algae, but they said that them blooms can stay in you within 24 hours, and then they dissipate. And I'm thinking, well, they laid there for how long? And then I got on your show, and that's why I was going. And I actually think I put it in the chat that he said, Michael, is it Mike? No, I don't remember his name. Lorden. That's him.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, the day before, but I didn't realize that he had posted that the day before. That's exactly what happened there. Anyway, it was confusing. I mean, regardless of the exposure thing, and I'm glad they found a thing for it because that family deserved answers, but
yeah,
that was so horrible. That whole thing was...
It was crazy.
That whole thing broke me in half, man. That was bad.
Yep. All right. Well, Pebs, we got somebody on hold here, but appreciate you supporting the channel and doing all what you're doing behind the scenes over there. All right.
Well, listen, you don't know me, Gray, but I will be behind the scenes. I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't care, but I will help when I can, and I'll do the best I can for anybody that needs help, period.
Well, thank you. Very cool.
And I love the freaks. I love you guys are so welcoming and beautiful and nice to me. So y'all have a good evening. Do you have other calls?
Yeah, I have another caller right here.
Okay, well, you go get your other call, and thank you for taking my call, Gray. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, have a good one. Pebs. All right,
you too, bye.
Bye-bye. Pebs W. So what does the UM at the end of the sentences mean? I keep seeing that. What's that mean? I don't get it. Anybody know? Like that little tiny UM. Does it mean something? Pebs W. Anybody know? No, it was after I can't even I don't even know now who it was. Oh, it's like UM, something like that. Yeah, like that. That was at the end of that one person's comment a few times. No. Hold on, where is it? I don't even know if it's going to show up. Ah. Man. I don't know who that was. A second. Ah, screw it. I'm not going to take any more time. Alright, 707. 707.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Arg.
Wow, you're not around too much anymore. I don't hardly ever see you.
No, I've got to, I've been working very hard and, you got 4 children, you have to pay attention and parent your children. And so that's what.
So you weren't parenting before?
We always parent our children.
Okay,
we are called sometimes helicopter parents.
Okay.
But they got some liberty too. Anyway, I'm calling about first thing is, and I just got here, and so I'm going to apologize if no one has yet mentioned about the Wisconsin maniac. He also has a penchant for running over people because one of his previous charges was running over his wife with the
we heard that.
Car.
We heard that earlier in the press conference.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. And I think that should add to the suspicion of him liking to drive over people with cars as weapons.
He also made a comment about like older people too on Twitter. I can't remember exactly what it was, but
I heard that. I wasn't able to call in or anything, but yeah, I heard that, and that was very telling too. I think he's really more than just a man who turned right instead of left, and whose brakes didn't work.
Well, no, I mean it's not even. It's not a question if he did it intentionally or not. You see the video.
No, he
tried to go. He tried to go around a little bit to the left, and then he goes, screw it! There's no room.
Yeah.
And he gunned it and ran over people on purpose to get through that.
Yes.
Yeah, so he chose to kill people to try to get away from whatever he was perceiving to get away from.
And entirely premeditated because he had the opportunity to slam on the brakes, And the thing that bothered me, at least from what I could hear, is I didn't hear any sirens chasing the man.
Well, no, he went through a barrier that they had. He drove around it, and then he took a right, and then he drove all the way down Main Street. And for a while, he wasn't hitting anybody, but then he got to a point where it was bottlenecked in, like it was congested, and then he tried to go around, and he goes, screw it. And it's at that moment where he decided to kill people to get away. It was weird. Right. So I think he thought he had just got done. There was an incident I thought it was at his wife's house or something. Just prior to that, and he thought people were after him. He may have even thought the barricade would, if he didn't know about the parade. Here's what's weird, though, is why did he choose to go down Main Street to get away from something? Yeah. Wouldn't you drive out on some weird side road somewhere? Instead, you go down Main Street.
I would try to... Yeah. I would be kind of trying, since no one was chasing him. I mean, you heard no sirens chasing him into that barricade, and a parade barricade usually isn't made of police cars, like a road, like a roadblock. It's usually just, at least where I'm from, the barricade is usually like a couple of those wooden construction barricades, that you have. They're just basically saying, "Don't go past here, please." Mm-hmm. It's not like there were 2 police cars sitting there blocking his path or anything. And I heard no sirens chasing him. And any of those videos that had, that were listening to the Christmas music as the one parade band goes past, there's no sirens in the background. He could have just saw that there was congestion before him, and like a sane person would do. You know, because you can see a couple blocks ahead of you. A sane person would slow down and turn on another street and try to skulk away, especially if you're not being chased. That, you know, it shows a lack of self-control.
No, well, it shows that he just didn't mind killing people. He didn't care at all. I don't want to hear any psychobabble, any kind of shit later that's going to come out. Well, it turns out he'd been struggling with mental illness. See, here's the thing, everybody. God, no. CNN and MSNBC, because this doesn't fit their narrative, is going to start pushing mental illness, or that, you know, just the society pressures on people like him were just too much. It's going to be some weird nuanced thing. But when it's a Kyle Rittenhouse, of course, then he's a person like that's going to be a white supremacist and all these different things, because that fits what they want to sell, you know. And it just, that's what I hate. This is what I hate. That is what I hate about the media currently. Back in the 50s, 60s, 70s even, you know, you had reporters that would go out and get the story. Now it's invented shit it's scary. You know, it's you have the media being a political arm or an arm of a political party, and that's scary.
Right. You know, it used to be like the Coca-Cola state, the sort of state, but now the media is in, you know, it's a political animal, and controlled by political animals. What annoys me also that I noticed is that it took Joe Biden an hour or two to comment about the shooting at the beer plant, which in the Coors beer plant, right? And that was a horrible, terrible thing, because I think 7 or 8 people were murdered. It took only a couple hours about that one, but it took him a day or more to talk about this parade massacre. I checked. I was watching on the news for a presidential. What you want to call it?
Here's all you need to know.
My God, is that he's in a parade?
Here's all you need to know. This will tell you the story. Is, you know, the day after this Wisconsin massacre, it's it's a huge story still. It's all over the news. Everybody's talking about the updates, what's going on. And then you go over to CNN to see what they're talking about, and they're covering the trial of Ahmaud Arbery. And see, the reason they're doing that is because they realize that this case didn't fit what they wanted to talk about. So then you got to go over to Ahmaud Arbery, which is more in line with what they want you to keep selling the public over and over and over and over again. Yeah, it's so that's all you need to know. When you see stuff like that, you go, wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's absolutely disgusting. And you know, in the press, in what I've read in down here in the other end of the world, sort of in Caledonia, and also from the press in the UK, a lot of it there is condemning the DA in Milwaukee for letting this guy trot around free at all, given his violent history. And I think that's also a major issue. Is there's a reason you have prisons, and if you don't have enough prisons, build a few more full-in prisons, so you don't just let people walk because of
prisons are the last place that shouldn't be funded.
COVID.
Prisons should be like on the top of a list of funding something. Like because if you let prisoners out because you don't have the room or something, you've just made society more dangerous. You know, people need to serve every second of the time, you know, unless, you know, obviously there's paroles and things like that. But you shouldn't get out early because we just didn't have space. That's ludicrous, okay? So the funding for police and prison, all of that should get increased. And here's the thing is I think we should get, there are some police officers that they suck, okay? And they shouldn't have been there. And they shouldn't be there, like that Chauvin guy. Like, He is, I mean, we are, in that case, he was just a total shitbag, okay? He just sat there staring at the camera, didn't give a shit about the life of the guy. And so there are people like that.
Was smirking.
So the thing is, I would just spend more money on making sure that you have really high caliber people that are police officers, because you just get one shit dirtbag and it makes everybody look bad on CNN and MSNBC, because they'll focus in on it. As long as long as the racial component matches what they want to sell. See?
They want to cement the false scenario very much, and at least where I read my news, which I don't get it off of those places. As an example, where you live in Portland, it's like it's not very pleasant right now because of the lack of police and the lack of the support of the police in the upper echelons of the government, local government there. Now,
well, the thing is, it's really. I want to say this too. I think it's a very tiny percentage of bad police officers. I think all of them are there for. They're there to help, and they're awesome people, and it's like they're going to run into a place to save you. It's just that you can't. That's a profession or like a service that should never have a bad person in there. Like there should be some way to make sure there is zero bad people in such an important role like that in society.
Exactly. You don't want bad doctors. And the other thing you shouldn't have is you shouldn't have any bad teachers either.
Yeah, that's what I said.
In my opinion.
No, there shouldn't be any at all. Like some of the inner city kids are being absolutely, a disservice done to them, because the teachers in there are dumber than the students that they're teaching. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Teachers should be able to be fired really. Here's what I always say, everybody. Teachers should be able to be fired really easily. They should get paid, though. I would give them about a 40% raise, but then give them a really good 401k matching, but get rid of the pension system so that they have a way better life as they're a teacher, and they get a really great 401k like everybody else has. And that you're not, whenever you have these pensions and unions, I'd get rid of the unions too. I don't think there should be unions in any government jobs of any kind. The only time there can be a union would be a private company like Ford or somebody. They could have a union if they want to, right? But the government, you can't have one because it sort of hamstrings society because of the union. I don't believe in unions whatsoever. I think in government work. Because you've got a teacher, and so here's the thing. Teachers are guaranteed a certain retirement regardless of what the stock market's doing. So if the stock market goes down, they have to raise these funds to then keep giving them money. But why not make it so they have a better life while they're a teacher, and they get a crazy 10% matching 401k, and when they retire, they're going to have millions of, $1 million in there anyways. So it's like, instead we have to pay. I don't know. I just don't agree with it at all.
I just want to clear that.
Cops should get paid more. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing, having spent a goodly amount of my life in universities, is I don't believe in tenure. Now, a lot of the people I know who are now instructors in universities and colleges, they won't like me for saying that, but I 100% do not agree in tenure in upper education, whatever you want to call it. Tenure is something you can hide behind, and tenure can.
I think tenure just allows it so you can't really get fired. I think that teachers should be able to be fired and easily. It shouldn't have to be these huge processes that you go through. If you're a bad teacher, you get fired, you're replaced. Pay teachers more, get the best of the best. Like, what if you're paying teachers $90,000 a year? Well, boom, man, you're going to have a lot of people trying to get in there. And I'm not saying that the you know, the teachers that are in there are bad. There's great teachers out there. I'm just saying, if you paid more, you'd have even a higher, like, level of teachers that are in there. And we need teachers that are absolutely competent and able to teach kids. And, you know, that's one of the things that's hard is there's a lot of smart people out there, but they suck at teaching. You know, what you need is somebody who's a really good teacher, good with kids, very intelligent, and boom, you need a whole bunch of those people, because if you're teaching with a kids that can't even speak themselves, then you've got a problem. I mean, you are in a really bad place at that point.
Yeah. You are, and you know, also I'm not a believer in certain set social curriculum. I think your job is when you come out of primary school, you need to be able to read, understand literature that is being assigned. You know, I could say Shakespeare or whomever, but being able to be taught to read something that is important and well read, but well written, but to be able to take something that's written down, read it, and then in a group discuss what really is being said, what the author means, and to see that there's maybe in your group 5 or 6 or 7 different interpretations, and then you can see why. And it does make you learn how to evaluate anything in life. Once you learn how to deconstruct the written word and what it really means, as opposed to just looking at it and saying, oh, or arg, then you can apply that to anything you read.
Yep.
It doesn't, you know, it's like, I took in university, have the philosophy of logic, classes like that. Those are very useful too. But when you come out of primary school, you have to be able to understand the written word and not just read. You have to be able to write with good grammar and not rely on a computer to do it. You need to be able to do your ciphering, your mathematics to whatever degree. And then you have your specialties, you know, foreign language, whatever you want.
Okay, but here's the thing. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, go ahead. I want to get to this cold case that I got to cover. So we're getting way down. We're getting way off. And the other thing is,
go ahead. Yeah, my other point about I meant to talk about the cold cases actually, and then I'll shut up.
Oh.
I liked the cold cases very much.
Yeah.
Okay, I liked them because I like to root for the little guy, the forgotten one, the person that's fallen between the cracks.
Yeah.
And we were watching on Roku where it took 40 years for a murder to be solved, and they got the killer, and they did it through DNA, and they even mentioned Parabon and whatnot. 40 years, and that case that was forlorn was solved because somebody got interested in it. And so I think that you're doing great, bringing oxygen to the little guy. And thank you.
Well, thank you.
And arg.
Yeah, no, it's yarg. Yeah. Yarg.
Yarg?
Yeah, why? It's my name. It's my name backwards. Yarg. Is it gonna hold?
I thought it was a pirate. I thought you were pretending to be a pirate or something.
No, you can sound like one. Yarg. Right? So we just run over and we say yarg. Yeah, so it's yarg.
Yarg.
Y-A-R-G.
On the front. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
That's our calling card when we go somewhere. Yarg, everybody. All right?
Yarg. Okay.
All right. Well.
Yarg. You know, it's like a new mother. All right.
Okay.
It's the secret 6 words to get into the room.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
It's the password. Yarg. Take care.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
for calling in. Bye. All right. All right. Done with the call-ins. Done. Thank you, Susanna McGillipadrig. Yeah. All right, so right now it's time for Apple time. Let's see what we got over here. Hold on. Hey, wait, I gotta rewind it. Nobody's giving me anything. Here we go. So this is it. You guys have to take the bites out of the apple. And first you gotta get the stem off of it, then the bites out of the apple to get to the what's behind the apple. Okay, you get it? And this helps out the channel and thus the charities as well. Alright, so right now we've got a full Honey Crisp apple on the screen right there. Man, this last batch of Honey Crisp I got were perfect. Oh, there's one. Okay, there we go. So that first one by Lori takes off the stem. The stem's off now. Now Jessica Schubach has taken a bite out of the apple. Here we go. Oh, and there's Rita Schaefer with a bite. Okay, here we go. And then it looks like Carrie Brunette. I think I need to make more bites at some point. Alright, and then Jiggy England coming up. Alright, and Eugenie is the next one. And then Suzanne Marcella. Here we go. Alright, well look at that. Unfortunately, the bite is... Oh, there's one. Oh, wait, we gotta rewind it because nobody did that one. Alright, so we're paused right there. Or was it the one after that? Ah, screw it. This is where we're at. So poor Chloe is behind that, and we will not be able to see her unless we get to... Okay, there we go. Alright. That was Carolina Girl. What do you mean you don't understand? You're biting away the app. This is just a... You know... We used to do like a vacation where people helped to support the channel by buying me drinks, but this is better because you're actually revealing something. It just has to get there. I think there's only 2 more bites left, okay? Oh, there's one. And there's Swerves. There might be 2 more after this, I guess. Oh, and there's Carrie Brunette. Look how perfect that is. It's blocking the face on just for the last. Yeah, I took back a bite. Oh well. There's one more. I think I rewound it an extra bite that one time. I need to make more bites. Wow, nobody wants to see Chloe. Oh, there it is. We got the last one. By Jilly Bear L. And that's all you get is a lazy Chloe just sitting there. Chloe! Chloe! Alright, in a minute it'll just, this whole screen will open up. There we go. Oh god, look at the lazy. There you go. Wow. Don't those guys have a rough life right there? You gotta admit, like, they struggle. Blue. Blue. Hey, thanks, Philly. Yeah, absolutely terrible life. Oh, get it? Rough life. Get it, everybody? Rough life. Hey, thanks, Freya. Or is it Freya or Freya? I've tried to say it, but I... Tracy Shepard and Mama Buzz. Hey, thank you, Mama Buzz. We're going to be doing a cold case here in just a few minutes. And see, she didn't get offended by my comments on Canada's sentencings over there. 5 years for chopping off a head. Oh yeah, let me give him. Yeah, I'll give him something. Hold on. There you go. That's a good idea. Good idea. Good idea.
Go. Get up. Up. Up, up. Come on, Chloe. Here, look. God, he almost bit my finger.
Blue almost bit my finger off right there. No, see, Chloe, she didn't see the one right below her. Blue got that one. Oh yeah, she just... Poor Chloe. She didn't... They're not really that hungry. They just ate. They'll just eat anything. You know how dogs are, right? Oh, it sounds like Greya. Okay, cool. Freya. There you go. Yeah, Blue will just rip your finger off when you hand him something. I was thinking of having like a channel just for Blue and Chloe, you know? Like you just stream them live for an hour and let people just, you know, people that maybe don't have pets or something and they just want to, you know, you throw, I don't know how to do it, but maybe you have like multiple cameras or something where you could throw a ball and they wrestle. They're really fun to watch when they're wrestling and playing. What is she looking at? I think she thinks there's still a little piece there. She's upset that she missed out on the one that was right below her feet. Wow, I just got 9 subs because we're playing this. Did you see that? It went from 415 to... Yeah, she realizes that she looked up there and saw Blue take that one, right? Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Did we just see a torso? What? Blue, what are you looking at? Come on, Chloe. See? Oh wait, you can't see him because I'm over here. Yeah, right there. See? There she is. You didn't get your little toy, did you? Or your food, I guess is what I meant to say. Yeah. Oops. Hold on, let me get through there. There we go. No, you got a mince mug or Muntz mug. Yeah, it's got 12 serial killers on it. I found another serial killer today while looking at the case, the cold case. Just an absolute monster. And then he was part of, he actually was sort of associated with the Bars Jonah, too. Kind of weird. Blue, there's no more, okay? Nothing. Chloe's so bummed out. Maybe I need to go get her. Hold on, let me get her. Right, up. Get up there. Yeah, right there. Okay, here we go. You see the way Blue ripped that out of my hand? Let me show you the difference. Blue. Snatch. Chloe's just nice and do you guys see the way Blue just almost ripped my finger off? Oh, man. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for the apple break. What are you talking about? Robin Hitch? What the hell are you talking about? Wow, who cares? Let's see. Let me get down to... I'm going to turn off some of these places. Maybe roads for now. Yeah. I'll put borders on there. Yeah, who cares, Robin? Yeah, we know what it is. All right, let me get the... Hey, everybody. Look at this, everybody. I have RIGN doorbell. The world's going to collapse. We won't know what it meant. Okay? We won't know what it meant. So what's weird is if I scroll up here, we got people like that that are going to read through every single thing that you quickly type in. Great, did you see that? You misspelled the... who cares? God, unbelievable. Yarg. Yarg. Who the hell notices shit like that? Hey, Gray, I checked out your tags. You tagged the previous show in your tags. And then I look at myself, well, wow, that's weird. What were you doing looking at the tags I'm using for this show? Are you that weird and psycho that you're looking at stuff like that? Yeah. All right, but here's what I'll do. I'll rename it for the people that have OCD and that bugs them. Okay, there we go, everybody. It now says ring. Call the newspaper. Get a hold of CNN. He's now spelling it ring, R-I-N-G. It was Rhine before that. Thank you very much.
Gosh, Gray, I was just trying to help.
Oh well. Have a good day. That's right. The Yarg Freaks. Right? Okay, this cold case is 1970, August 9th. Up in the Northeast, there was definitely a few serial killers running around. A lot of kids and teenagers are missing or killed. It was really pretty startling, So we're going to start off with this article right here. So this is Mary Catherine Olenchuk. All right. Right there. Mary Catherine Olenchuk. All right. Now, if I misspell Olenchuk, make sure to let me know, okay? All right. Maine, August 12th. FBI agents today joined the state police and local officials in searching for Mary Catherine Olenchuk, who has been missing since Sunday. Let me get to this other. I like this one better. All right. Let's see. Mary Catherine, 13, daughter. She's been missing since Sunday and feared kidnap. Mary Catherine, 13, daughter of Brigadier General. So she was actually the daughter of a general, and Mrs. Peter Olenchuk. So he was Brigadier General Peter Olenchuk. She was last seen at 5 p.m. Sunday talking to a man in a maroon car with a scratched-up hood near her parents' summer home here. Her bicycle was later found at the scene. Police Chief Cecil Perkins said the girl apparently was abducted. The search has been kept quiet to await possible contact with the abductor. She's not the type She's not the type the family believes would run away. Nancy Catherine is 5'3", with shoulder-length dark red hair, and weighs about 80 pounds. She was last seen wearing blue jeans and a white t-shirt with Yokomiko Andrews Air Force Base stenciled on it. Her father is the commanding officer of the Army Ammunition Supply Depot at Joliet, Illinois. That's crazy. It's weird how when you save these, they're really huge. So law enforcement officials are searching for the 13-year-old daughter of Brigadier General Peter Olenchuk. Police Chief Cecil Perkins said yesterday the FBI has been called into the case and has sent 4 agents in to investigate. Perkins said the girl, Mary Catherine Olenchuk, was last seen on her bicycle at 5 p.m. talking to a man in a maroon-colored car about 200 yards from her family summer home here. The missing girl was described as 5'3" and weighing 80 pounds. She had shoulder-length dark hair, a slight build, blue eyes, and freckles. Here, let me, I'm going to look something up really quick. I have a feeling if it's a family home that Peter Olenchuk, probably isn't 1,000 of those out there. Peter Olenchuk. And this is going to be in Maine. He's 99 years old. God, he's not still alive, is he? Man. No, he died in 2000. Address history. Okay, so let's see if this is one of the addresses. This is 1988, so that probably wouldn't. Let's try this one. That's Massachusetts. That's not the right one. So all it was a P.O. box. And his wife died in 1998. I'm just looking at it. Let's see if she has an address in... No, P.O. box again. So that's probably... They had a P.O. box. So maybe one of the articles will mention. Maine hunt. Huh. Is that like a play on words? Trying to, like this guy was trying to be funny, right? Like, hey, there's a Maine hunt for Joliet girl pushed. Okay. Police and FBI agents here are looking for that one valuable lead in the search for Mary Olenchuk, 13, of Joliet, Illinois. Yeah, you know, did they have that in there? Hold on. No, didn't even have that address in there. That one valuable lead in their search for Mary Olenchuk, 13, of Joliet, Illinois, who they fear has been kidnapped. The girl, daughter of the commanding officer of the Joliet Army Ammunition Depot, has been missing since Sunday when she failed to return to the family summer home for dinner. There are miles and miles and miles of woods surrounding this town, and we really have no particular spot to look, said Sergeant Paul Falconer of the Maine State Police. We've put out publicity and are taking calls now. We're checking out everything, he said. The girl, daughter of Brigadier General and Mrs. Peter Olenchuk, was last seen Sunday getting into a maroon sedan. So far, the family has not received a ransom note or call from anyone saying they have kidnapped a girl, Falconer said. She's not the type who the family believes would run away, not the hippie type. Wow, how unwoke. Ogunquit Police Chief, so it's Ogunquit. That's the name of this place, so it's Ogunquit, A-G-U-N Quit, Maine. There it is. So it's right in this area. So we'll just put a pin here just to have an initial pin placement. Ogunquit, Maine. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't capitalize it. Get back to me later on that. The girl, daughter of Brigadier General Peter Olenchuk, was last seen Sunday getting into a maroon sedan. So far, the family has not received a ransom note. She's not the type who the family believes would run away. Already have conducted a shoulder-to-shoulder search for clues in the area where Mary was last seen. The bicycle she rode to the beach during the day was found late Sunday night on Shore Road, a well-traveled street in the area. All right. So, Shore Road. Okay, so that road could be anywhere. I'm sure if I turned on roads here that it'll go all the way up through there. Yep. So that's Shore Road, and Shore Road actually goes all the way down. It keeps going, so we don't really know. So maybe let me just put a pin on Shore Road, and that way we can, if we get it narrowed down, we can look a little deeper. The bicycle she rode to the beach during the day was found late Sunday night on Shore Road, a well-traveled street. Falconer described the girl as 5'2", 80 pounds. When last seen, she was wearing a long white t-shirt with Yokosuka Andrews Air Force Base stenciled in blue letters. The missing girl had been vacationing at the home with her parents and sister, Jane, 17, and Miss Nancy Shaw, 20, who lives in Massachusetts. So she had a couple older sisters. Wait, hold on. What was it? Well, let me go back. Maybe that'll help. Because you wonder if they kept the vacation home. So Nancy Shaw. So Nancy Let me just look in here really quick for relatives. Jane. Was it Nancy and Jane, right? There it is. Jane Olenchuk. Gonna go look for the address history. Anything in Maine, Connecticut, New York, California. No. Darn it. Shoot. Alright, so that was it for that. Police continue to sift through, and now we're on the 14th. We started off on the 12th. Police continue of August of 1970. Police continue to sift through reports yesterday from persons who think they have seen the missing 13-year-old daughter of an Army Brigadier General, but they said that information turned in so far had failed to reveal any positive clues to the disappearance and presumed abduction of Mary C. Olenchuk. We're just waiting to come up with some kind of definitive lead, said a state police spokesman. We have nothing definite enough to start a full-fledged investigation in any one direction. Police said an Army helicopter that combed the coastline as far south as York yesterday failed to turn up any trace of the daughter of Brigadier General Peter Olenchuk. The police spokesman said it is possible abduction on the basis of a woman who thinks she saw the girl in a faded maroon automobile late Sunday afternoon. Mary's borrowed bicycle was found near the spot where the woman said she saw a girl get into a car with an unidentified man. The Olenchuk summer home is about 200 yards away. That's interesting. The girl's father is commanding general of the Army Ammunition Supply Agency in Joliet, Illinois. Okay, now we're going to the 14th. Missing police search Wednesday for clues in the disappearance of Mary Olenchuk. And guess what? I have to go use the restroom. I forgot to do that during the break. All right, so here we go. I'll be back in just a minute. And there we go. Okay, so missing police search Wednesday for clues in the disappearance of Mary Olenchuk, 13 of Joliet, Illinois. Last seen of Joliet, Illinois. Last seen Sunday in Ogunquit, Maine, near the summer home of her parents, Brigadier General and Mrs. Peter Olenchuk. The father is commanding officer in the Army Ammunition Supply Agency in Joliet. All right, Green Berets and helicopters have joined the search for an Army general's missing 13-year-old daughter, Mary C. Olenchuk, disappeared mysteriously last weekend, and law officers fear she may have been kidnapped. The search continued Friday along the Maine coast for the daughter of Brigadier General Peter Olenchuk, commander of the Army Ammunition Supply Depot. Every lead is being checked out, but so far nothing, the state policeman said Thursday. Miss Olenchuk was last seen Sunday afternoon talking with an unidentified man in a maroon car outside of a beachfront hotel. The site's about 200 yards from the cottage where she was spending the summer with her parents. Her bicycle was later found propped against a wall of the hotel. Repeated ground searches of the 3 square mile area near the home turned up nothing. The helicopter flown in Wednesday afternoon from Fort Devens, Massachusetts, scoured a 3-mile wide coastal strip from north of Ogunquit for 4 hours Thursday morning. The aerial search was expected to continue indefinitely in a widening area. We're hoping to spot junked cars, old quarries, or other clues in remote areas that might provide a lead, the state police spokesman said. Several calls have been received from persons in the area thinking they might have seen the missing red-haired, blue-eyed girl, but none of the reports checked out, he said. FBI agents are ready to enter the case if there is evidence a federal crime has been committed. Authorities have discounted the possibility the girl ran away or left voluntarily, and she's very stable and dependable. So, you know, they really think she's been abducted. I think this is kind of similar to the last one, the Green Berets. On the 16th, we've got maroon cars checked for kidnapper. Authorities were trying yesterday to check out every maroon car in this resort area in the search for a brigadier general's 13-year-old daughter. Red-haired, freckled-faced Mary Olenchuk was last seen the afternoon of last Sunday talking to a man in a faded maroon car outside a beachfront hotel at about 200 yards from her family. I wonder, beachfront hotel. So is that like right on the water? Okay, so it's probably likely up here. Yeah, I mean, these are the hotels. I don't think it would be that one, but even though it's right on the ocean there. I don't know. Yeah, there's been no ransom, etc., etc. There's a article coming up that has really detailed information. Auto, a lead in search. So this is 3 days later. Maroon auto still is the prime lead in the search Monday. The red-haired youngster, who police fear may have been kidnapped, was last seen August 9th talking to a man in a maroon auto. Her bicycle later was found near the summer home of her family. A police spokesman said 150 abandoned autos in a 40-mile stretch of coastline were searched. While an Army helicopter searched for abandoned autos, volunteer firemen pumped a nearby quarry dry but found nothing connected with the case. Right, so that's actually a better picture of her right there. It was 2 weeks ago today that a freckle-faced Mary Catherine Olenchuk, an Army general's daughter, borrowed a bicycle, rode into downtown area of the resort village of the Maine coast to buy some candy at a newspaper. So she went to buy candy and a newspaper and then disappeared while apparently on her way home. She hasn't been seen since, nor have there been any ransom notes to indicate that the 13-year-old youngster was kidnapped. Yeah. She hasn't been seen since, nor have there been any ransom notes to indicate that the 13-year-old youngster was kidnapped. While her family continues to pray for little Mary's safe return, law authorities are pressing a homicide investigation which has moved into 3 New England states. Sunday afternoon, August 9th, began a normal summer afternoon for Mary Olenchuk. She was at the beach with her 16-year-old sister, Jane, and their mutual friend, Ann Levitt, also 16, who lives across the street from the Olenchuk summer home. So, her name is Ann Levitt. I wonder if that's one. There you go, Dan. Ann Levitt. Did she live in that little town? Ogunquit? About 4 p.m., Mary decided to leave the beach and go into the village to do some shopping. Here, let me try it. Hold on. Now I've got to do it. Where is it? People search. And Levitt. That's right. She could borrow the bike whenever she wanted. And how old would she have been? 16, 1970 plus 40. So it'd be about 56, 7. There it is. All right. Give me the right town. Give me the right town. Come on. You can do it. Wow. Ton of addresses here. Maine. Yeah, it's pretty noisy in the kitchen because we're getting the turkey ready. Yeah, I don't see the correct place. Let me try this other one. There happens to be another one. 58, so very possible that that's it. Yeah, it's 1970, right? So it'd be 30, 41 plus the age. Bath, Maine. Gorham. Oh, God darn it. It had a P.O. box for Ogunquit, Maine. Oh, man. Wait, no, another P.O. box. No address, though. God, man, that's brutal. Let me see if there's a relative. So maybe 3 relatives. Oh, let's go with the mom. See what we got there. So I guess in that resort town, you just get P.O. boxes there. This looks about right. And no, not nothing there. Darn it! It's brutal. They didn't give out the. It's pretty loud in there, huh? All right. At about 4 p.m., Mary decided to leave the beach and go into the village. So let's see. She was at the beach with her 16-year-old sister Jane and their mutual friend Ann Levitt, also 16, who lives across the street from Olenchuk. At about 4 p.m., Mary decided to leave the beach and go into the village to do some shopping. She told her sister and Miss Levitt that she wanted to buy candy and hoped to pick up a newspaper she neglected to get following church services that morning. She walked the short distance from the beach to the Levitt's garage, where she borrowed Ann Levitt's bicycle, which was her custom, and they said that she could borrow it whenever she wanted to. Mary then rode into the village she was unable to find the type of candy she wanted in one store, so she went to another on Main Street where she made her purchase. Then Mary headed home. So let's see where Main Street is. So, okay, Main Street. So it looks like Main Street isn't all the way down like it. That's Maine. Is it Maine? Yeah, so Maine's right here. And then it must become like Highway 1 again at a certain point. So it might just be in that general area right there. I mean, it's 1970, so things could be totally different now, but... On what guy? I don't know, Ryan, but you see what we're talking about right now? So everybody just gives the same respect to every one of these cases, right? Like, we're not actually talking about that right now. You get it? All right, awesome. All right, so here we go. And let me get back to the article here. She walked to the short distance from the beach to the Levitt's garage where she borrowed a bicycle. Mary then rode to the village. She was unable to find the type of candy she wanted in the one store, so she went to another on Main Street where she made her purchase. It was about 4:30 when Mr. and Mrs. Edward C. Blake of Stoneham, who own and operate, oh, there we go, Marginal Way House. Is that still there? Like, come on, just get lucky. Marginal Way House. Wow, it's right there. Can you believe it? Unbelievable. Marginal Way House. We finally have an actual landmark. And it looks like Street View runs out. I don't even know. Yeah, right here. So it doesn't even make it to that house right there. That's it right here. So now we can kind of picture what we're about to read here. And I think this is going to be close to her house, right? Because it said she was 200 yards away. So Mary then rode into the village. She was unable to find the type of candy she wanted in one store, so she went to another on Main Street. It was about 4:30 when Mr. and Mrs. Edward C. Blake of Stoneham, who own and operate the Marginal Way House on Wharf Lane, let's make sure that it didn't move or something. Wharf Lane, we got the right spot. Boom. Can I get a boom? Yarg! Yeah. They knew Mary, her sister Jane, and her friend Anne have summer jobs. Okay, so Edward C. Blake and Stoneham, who own and operate the Marginal Way House of Wharf Lane, were sitting in their tiny office facing the street and saw Mary riding by. They knew Mary, her sister Jane, and her friend Anne have summer jobs at Marginal Way House as chambermaids. All right. Ed Blake and his wife, Brenda, waved to Mary, but she didn't see them. She did not wave in return. However, the Blakes were the last persons to have positively seen Mary Olenchuk on that Sunday afternoon. The girl apparently continued on her way home when she was riding past the Lookout Hotel. Boom! Come on. Now we can get sort of a route here. Please still be there. Towns like this usually keep stuff like that. Let's see. Ah, man, it didn't do it. That's not where it was. That's overlooked. So she was riding by. You wonder what direction she was headed. How about this? Let's let me look it up. Hold on a second. www.newspapers.com. And let's see. That doesn't look like newspapers. Why does it look like that? Am I not signed in or what? Let's see. Lookout Hotel. Is that what it was called? Yeah, Lookout Hotel. And we'll 1965 to 1975 in Maine. Yeah, well, it says it lists it there again. Town office at the request of M.L. Merrill, hotel owner of Lookout Hotel, for a hotel liquor license. Man, couldn't you guys have at least given the address? At the town office on the request of... Okay. Let's see. The car believed to be a maroon 19... Oh, this is... Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. The car believed to be maroon 1963-64 Chevrolet is a vehicle that Mary Catherine was seen in August 9th between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. on the Israelis Head Road in front of the Lookout Hotel. Okay, now we can type that in. Israelis Head Road. Ah, man, that's not gonna work. Israel. That's not it. It's Israel. It's not. God, look at all this Hebrew up there. Israel's Head Road. Okay, so it's over here. And let's just put hotel on. That's not it though. So, on Israel's Head Road in front of the Lookout Hotel. I wonder if that was a hotel right there at one point. Let's just put it right there. Lookout Hotel. Yeah, you don't have to time somebody out. I just want people to focus in on what we're talking about now. As you can see, we're not talking about that other case, and we don't know when another press conference is going to be. We like people that are just kind of interested in all types of crimes here, not just one where they're just like, ooh, ooh. It's like right now we're talking about a different case. That's what I'm talking about. So let me go look down here. I wonder if that was the hotel that they're talking about, or even that one. Because that definitely looks like a hotel there, doesn't it? I bet you that's the one. Because it sort of looks out over the ocean. And it's on Israel Head Road. I'm just kind of guessing that might be like right there, perhaps. And then she only lived 200 yards away, so she probably lived right over around in this area right here. I guess it could be over there as well. So Ed Blake and his wife Brenda waved to Mary, but she didn't see them. So they actually waved to her. These aren't the people that saw the maroon car, the Blakes. They're just ones that saw her driving by. The girl apparently continued on her way home when she was riding past the Lookout Hotel about 200 yards from her home on Israel Head Road. It is believed she stopped. Got to go to the next page. Oh yeah, this is a big article here. So here we go. This is actually, it was so big that I had to just keep the. So I mean, we get to see everything here. Oh, now we can actually see. Ann Levitt shows where she last was seen. Interesting. So that's actually the friend that she borrowed the bike from, or the mother of the friend. General's daughter missing. So let me go back to the previous sentence. It said, it is believed she stopped to talk with a man parked in a faded maroon car in front of the hotel. An elderly woman sitting on the porch of the hotel, only a few yards from the road, reported later that at about 5 p.m., she saw a girl answering Mary's description, talking to a man in a maroon car. The girl got into the car, which drove off. At 1:30 the following morning, so 1:30 a.m., police found Ann Levitt's bicycle, which Mary had been riding, leaning against the hotel. So it kind of proves that that girl was seen because her bike was even on the hotel itself, with her candy in a basket attached to the vehicle. It's kind of hard to believe she would have just willingly got in and just let her bike sit there, unless the person pretended they were somebody else. The authorities and Mary's family are asking these questions. If the girl was forced into the car, why didn't she cry for help? Yeah, see, it seems like somebody that was posing as somebody. That's why she left her candy there, too. There were several people on the hotel grounds that none reported hearing any screams. Ironically, if the girl was Mary, she was so close to her home that any screams would likely have been heard there. Again, based on the assumption that the girl was Mary, if she knew the driver of the car, why didn't she return the bicycle to the Levitt's garage before riding away with him? Yeah, it's almost like somebody said, hey, I'm with the police, there's an emergency, get in the car kind of thing. Yes, we saw Mary this afternoon, said Mrs. Blake. She rode by here on Annie's bicycle, and we thought she was on her way home. At 8 p.m., Mrs. Olenchuk reported Mary's absence to the Ogunquit police and notified her husband, Army Brigadier General Peter G. Olenchuk, since Mary's disappearance 2 weeks ago, police volunteers and Green Beret units from Fort Devens have conducted an extensive ground and air search for the rugged Maine countryside. It was first believed that the girl had been kidnapped, but this theory has been discounted by the lack of ransom. See how stupid back then people were? You discount kidnapping, that's even abduction, right? Because there was no ransom. No, I mean, pedophiles just kidnap somebody, unless there's a specific meaning for kidnap versus abduction. I don't know. She had no reason to run off, says her friend Ann Levitt. Mary was a happy, sweet girl. Thank you very much, Kristen Cure. She loved her summers here. She loved to swim and fish and fly her kites. We were very close. If anything had been bothering Mary, she would have told me. And she wasn't old enough to be interested in boys. She seldom even talked about them. General Olenchuk agrees with Ann. My daughter was happy, he says. We bought our home in Ogunquit 3 years ago, and Mary enjoyed every minute she was here. Last week, the general, a short man with close cropped hair, received a telephone call from his office in Joliet. He was told there was a letter there from Mary. It was opened and at his direction and read to the general over the phone. Wow. Mary had written that she was having a good time in Maine. I wish everyone could have such a wonderful summer place to go to as Ogunquit, she wrote. The letter was dated August 7th. Wow, she went missing on the 9th. 2 days before Mary disappeared. Police, FBI agents, and military intelligence investigators have also pondered whether there could be any connection between Mary's disappearance and her father's military duties. General Olenchuk was in charge of the overland transfer of the controversial nerve gas that was sunk off the coast of Florida last Tuesday. I can't completely discount the possibility of any connection, says the 48-year-old general who joined the Army as a private in 1943, but I think it's improbable. I wasn't selected to the nerve gas transfer assignment until, 2 days before Mary's disappeared, so the same day she wrote the letter, and no publicity was given to my selection for the job. Meanwhile, police are continuing to search for the driver of the faded maroon car, which was a standard-sized vehicle with scratches or slight gouges. The driver, who appeared to be alone, was described as a white male in his mid-30s wearing dark clothes. Mary Olenchuk is described as 5 feet 3 inches, 180 pounds. When last seen, she was wearing a white t-shirt embossed with the word Yokosuka Andrews Air Force Base. In an appeal for the public to come forward with any possible information about his daughter's disappearance, the grim-faced general held a news conference at the Grange Hall in nearby Wells. The general, wearing glasses and a tan suit with brown tie, was introduced by Lieutenant Charles R. Bruton, commander of the Maine State Police Bureau. There is the shock, distress, worry, and of course deep concern for Mary's well-being, and now with the lack of information, anxiety, and fearful despair. General Olenchuk offered his appeal if anyone, anywhere, has seen Mary or thinks he has seen her, or has heard of anyone who has seen her, or has information that might help get her back, no matter how unimportant the information may seem, please call them. While making his statement to the press and during an interview following the conference, General Olenchuk smiled only when he was talking about his missing daughter. Man, could you imagine the scorn he would get on social media for daring to smile? Ooh. And look at it, he does say she's a wonderful girl, meaning, present tense. Okay. More love than she expects in return. She's a wonderful girl of 13 who's trying hard to be 14. She's a girl who gives more than she expects in return. As the youngest of my 3 daughters, Mary is still my little boy. My little boy. I think you know what I mean. If Mary did get in the car with a man, she either must have known him or had confidence in him. See, I think that that person was pretending to be an authority figure. We've taught her to avoid strangers, not to talk with strangers. Her sister's mother, and I aren't the only ones who miss Mary. Rusty, her Irish setter, keeps looking for her, too. Mary was training Rusty to be a show dog. It's a funny thing, her hair and Rusty are the same color. Asked how his wife was bearing under the ordeal, the general replied, under the circumstances, extremely well. Mary's 16-year-old sister, Jane, hasn't reported for work at the Marginal Way house since Mary's disappeared. She and her parents have been in seclusion in their summer home, which has an American flag lying from its front porch, or flying from its front porch. The Olenchuk's other daughter, Nancy, 22, was also at the summer home last week. Nancy is married to graduate student Robert Shaw, who is transferring this fall to Harvard. Mary was such a helpful girl, says her friend, Ann Levitt. Maybe that was the trouble. I think about it all the time, and I still can't understand why Mary would get in a car with a stranger unless he asked for directions, and she decided to show him. She was like that, helpful. Anne, who will be a high school junior in Cleveland this fall, has been coming here with her family for 7 summers. I've known Mary and Jane for 3 years, she says, and we've become close friends. We all love bike riding. I'm the only one who has a bike, and Mary knows she's always welcome to borrow it. That's why she took it on the day she disappeared. But that's the first time in 3 years she hasn't returned it to the garage. Actress Joan Fontaine was among last week's visitors in the picturesque community located on U.S. Route 1, 65 miles north of Boston. She was here to star at Ogunquit Playhouse, the village's famed summer theater. But last week, Joan Fontaine took second billing in the public's attention to a red-haired girl with freckles named Mary Catherine Olenchuk. Yep, crazy. And then right away after that article, I mean, it was the same day, another article, so it must have been after that was written in the day. So this is, August 23rd. That other article was the 23rd as well. The body of a girl tentatively identified as that of Mary Catherine Olenchuk, 13-year-old daughter of an Army general, was found by searchers yesterday under a pile of hay in an abandoned barn. Doesn't the pile... You guys remember that one case? And it was in the same general area. We did it last year, I think. And it was a girl, and her body was found under a pile of bark dust. Do you remember that? And it was in a small town, just like this, but inland. Do you guys remember that case? Hey, Rita, are you on rewind mode? I can't remember that case. If you guys remember the name, let me know. Huh? What are you talking about, Vicky? Man, you guys are all over the place. It's unbelievable. Let's see. The body of a girl tentatively identified as that of Mary Catherine Olenchuk, 13, daughter of Army General, was found by searchers yesterday under a pile of hay in an abandoned barn, 6 miles from the family summer home in Ogunquit. Every indication points to homicide, says Assistant Attorney General Richard S. Cohen. Searchers combing a wooded area near the, so let's see where that is, Musam River. I mean, that's pretty general. Right, but let's just focus in on this. So over here is the river. So, you know that she was transported at least from here up to this general area because that river looks like it runs all the way from there into the ocean. So let's just put a pin in the river over here. Right there. All right. Okay. That's not what I was trying to get. I think that's, no, that's not it either. All right. Searchers combing a wooded area near the Muson River, a popular fishing area off Brown Street. Now we've got even more. Okay. I was really close to where I put that pin, but it's off Brown Street, so it's from here to down here. Popular fishing area off Brown Street. So let's see, does it come down? So we'll put it over here on Brown Street. Oh, by the way, let me get back to the last article, because we didn't look at some of these pictures here. Mary's house. So we could definitely have found that if you had the time to find a house that looked like that around here. You just have to go up and down the streets. Let's just get lucky right here. So it's got a second level straight with a porch off of it. People don't usually, these homes at the beach usually stay that way for a long time. Well, you wouldn't know that it was the general's daughter, right? Yeah, what a cool little town now, right? Yeah, you definitely wouldn't think in an area like this. Yeah, it's hard to make that out. So, all right, let me get back to the article here. So, Brown Street found a partly decomposed body fully clothed under a covering of hay on the floor of an unused barn, officials said. The Olenchuk girl had been missing 2 weeks. The pretty red-haired girl vanished while on an errand on her bicycle. It was really just for herself. She wanted to buy some candy. Let me see what the next article. I know there's a picture somewhere. Yeah, that's hard. The barn is out of sight from nearby Brown Street, a meandering country road that connects U.S. Route 1. The body was badly decomposed, and I don't know how I'm able to read that, but we don't know the cause of death, he told reporters at the press conference. We found no weapons in the area. We hope to get a positive identification through fingerprints and teeth x-rays. Alright, so here's the actual barn here. It's not the greatest, it's black and white, but so how far is that? It's about, let's just say 8 miles driving. So you can't see it off of the road. I would think it would be down here though, because they said it was a fishing spot. Yeah, and if it's an abandoned barn, it's probably not even still there anymore. Let's see. Troopers searched through the hay in an abandoned barn Sunday looking for clues where they found the body of 13-year-old daughter of Brigadier General. The girl, Mary C. Olenchuk, has been missing since August 9th. Police found the body Saturday beneath a pile of hay. An autopsy indicated she had been choked to death with a rope. Wow. Officials said there was no evidence she had been molested sexually. The discovery ended, I think there probably was. They just, if you follow this channel, we've noticed over time that they leave that out intentionally. They actually pretend that, they say that she wasn't, but the discovery ended with 2-week ground and air search around Ogunquit, Maine, where Olenchuk has a summer home. And they were still working to identify her, and let's see. Here we go. Here's one. That's her with her dog. Little Mary Olenchuk may have been lured to her death by a phony story that her pet dog had been hurt or killed, police disclosed Saturday. Huh. Well, that's just a guess, but yeah, I mean, it was a story told by somebody where she was willing to leave her bike and candy to go do. They also said she fought so desperately for life that she may have left detectives with clues to the identity of the person who strangled her and left her body in an abandoned barn at Kennebunk, where it was discovered a week ago. Lieutenant Detectives Charles Bruton, head of Criminal Investigation Bureau of the Maine State Police, said traces of skin were found under Mary's fingernails and was hopefully they kept that, and was a human hair believed to have come from a man. Mary's hair was auburn, but Bruton said the strand found under her nails was black. What was baffling police, since the 13-year-old daughter of Brigadier General and Mrs. Peter G. Olenchuk disappeared late the afternoon of August 9th, was why a quiet, shy girl, as she was, would have gotten into a strange car. The theory, it's just a theory, involving her Irish setter, Rusty, may answer the question, Bruton indicated. Only something as extreme, but see, that's implying that the person is too close to the person, right? It's like, I don't think that's a very good theory, because now you're implying that the killer knows the dog too. Okay, I think it was something else, like pretending that he's an officer and that something happened to a family member. Okay. Only something of extreme importance, he said, would have prompted her to leave the borrowed bike leaning against the wall. See, this is exactly what we were thinking a minute ago. Of the Lookout Hotel on Israel Head Road, about 200 yards from the summer home, instead of returning it to its owner. But Bruton theorized she might have done just that if someone told her that Rusty, yeah, of course, that could be one, but there would be a million other reasons she could have got in there, right? That if someone told her that Rusty had been hurt or killed let's see, offered to drive her to the scene of the accident. Bruton said Mary and the dog were devoted to each other and could be seen nearly every morning playing together on the beach. So maybe it's somebody that's been watching. She adored the dog, Bruton declared, and said her family agreed that a story that he had been injured might have led her to break her normal behavior pattern and get into a strange car. General Olenchuk, head of Army procurement, blah, 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 Labor Day, add authorities to search. The date is important because the population of Ogunquit drops from 18,000 to about 1,800 then. Said he would remain here until at least Labor Day. The date, okay, so then it was disclosed that state police from Maine, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire have already held 3 meetings to explore possible links between Mary's murder and those of Debbie Lee Horn, that was one we talked about yesterday, of Allenstown, New Hampshire, and Michelle Wilson, 13, of Boxford. We haven't done that one. I think Michelle Wilson, though, was assigned to another killer admitted doing that. Although, how do we know that killer just isn't admitting to these other ones. Debbie disappeared January 29th, 1969, and her body was found 8 months later in the trunk of an abandoned car at Sandown, New Hampshire. That's the one we did yesterday. The chief suspect in Debbie's murder and the disappearance of her teacher, Luella Marie Blakeslick, who vanished from Hooksett, New Hampshire on July 4th, 1969, is known to have worked in Maine for a contractor this summer. The similarities between the deaths of Michelle and Mary were described by one investigator as astonishing. Michelle, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Donald Wilson of Baldpale Road, Boxford, was slain near her home on November 23, 1969. Mary was a summer resident of Maine, but Michelle lived here before her family moved to Massachusetts when her father took an exclusive job there. Both girls were 13 in the 8th grade, and both were described as being very much on the shy side. Both vanished about the same time of the day, between 4 and 5, and both were riding bikes when last seen. Both were within easy distance from their homes when they met their murderers. Mary, in fact, was only about 200 yards from safety. Both were strangled, although Michelle was also hit on the head with a heavy rock. Although the chance was small one with little hope of success, Maine police asked authorities throughout New England to check body shops in their respective areas and to notify them about any maroon cars that may have been painted another color. Now, that was pretty smart to do. Yeah, and then there was another article 5 years later, but I think there's no updates or anything. And in the description, there's this longer article here, and they actually linked. I didn't use any of these, but they have a whole bunch of newspaper articles themselves throughout the years. Looks like they even had one from '98, maybe some different victims and everything. But that's her with their. It looks like it was a podcast. So there you go. Crazy. So there you go, everybody. Another unsolved case, but it led to me finding this other serial killer who admitted to one of those other two, the Wilson case. And then you sort of wonder if he had something to do with them. All right. So that is it. Oh, that's got a map on it. One that Dan sent. Let me check this out. I didn't actually use newspapers.com this time. I just used the other one because it seems like it's more local to these small towns. Now there's the Lookout Hotel. Where do we have the Lookout Hotel? So they have that. Oh, they have it different like this. So the ocean's out here. And then, what do they call it? Shorey Road. Well, there's Shore Road there. That's not the same one. Beach Street. Where's that? Okay, so maybe like that. And maybe that's Shore Road right there. Yeah, and then it comes down to here. Yep. Wharf Lane, probably. Yeah. Anyways, I'm done with the show tonight, but you know, maybe one of these days we'll add more to the map or something like that. So thank you guys all for showing up tonight, and appreciate it. I don't think I'm going to do any extra at the end. I just want to I need to get something to drink. Oh. Man. Hate that. So thank you guys very much for being here. And I feel like I got allergies just kicked in. Oh man. Sometimes when the air conditioning comes on, it just hits me right in the... Man. Thank you to Fishing in the Dark, Kit, Cindy Leon, Amy CHS, Mom of Four, Brandy C, Jessica Schubach, Linda Howell, River Vegan, Cheyenne R, Sandra Halford, So Kind, River Vegan, Kathy Freidenmaker, River Vegan again, River Vegan, River Vegan, River Vegan, over and over, thank you very much. Peculiar Human Biped, River Vegan again, Mike S, Amanda Oglesby, Lucky Charm 69, Kit Kat, Cindy Leon, River Vegan again, must have won the lottery today of some sort, Candalee Woodward Stone, Vid Inquiries, Holly Evans, Pebs W, Juju Positive, Claudia Neubauer, Mary Glaviano, Lori Fisher, Jessica Schubach, Rita Schaefer, Carrie Brunette, Jiggy England, Eugenie, Suzanne Marcella, Carolina Girls, Swerbs, Carrie Brunette, Jilly Bear L, Philly, Freya, Tracy Shepard, Mama Buzz, Kristen Cure, and Kristen Cure. So thank you very much for supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. And yeah, awesome. We're on our way to the end of the month where we're going to be donating some more money to the DNA fund, because we've got a third case that we've got to fund. I want to do the one that we talked about, the Addison County one. Thanks a lot, Jay. Yeah, that's right. Jay's trying to trip me out. Gray, there's a very starts out with a froggy throat, dry mouth. Person feels like they need to clear their throat. That turns to a cough. Ah, Jesus. All right, you guys. Thank you very much. We will see you guys tomorrow. All right. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get you, wanna set you. If you try and play me like a little projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gregor's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector.
Full reflector, interceptor.
And I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all. Just remember, I've a temple fucking check.
That's not like that, Jay.
I've
got allergies that come through my...
to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you.
All right, everybody, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Hope you guys have a good evening. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there.
Be safe out there.
What are you angry about this time, Mary Lou?
Well, you didn't give me any parts tonight.
Well, yeah, you had some comments to say throughout the night.
Oh, yeah. Okay, bye.
Jeez, Mary Lou. Jeez. What a crazy person. Really, Ryan? That's crazy. That's awesome. Hey! No, I'm fine. I just, there's an air conditioning, and sometimes it blows. I don't know if there's like stuff that gets in there, but I just drink some water and then it goes away because it kind of clears out whatever the hell I was inhaling. Yeah. I hardly go anywhere, so I'm not going to be catching any viruses. All right, you guys. See you guys later. Be safe.